Madden 26 is here, and today we're going to be rebuilding the New York Giants, at least on an early access work-in-progress version of the game presented by EA Creator Network. This Giants team, if you can get over the fact that they have the fewest wins in the NFL since 2017, man, these guys are good. 27th ranked pass rush? I'm not buying it. They've got Brian Burns, one of the best edge rushers in the league. Top 10 or 15, right? That doesn't mean best 2 or 3. I know he's not Myles Garrett. Don't get me wrong. Kayvon Thibodeau could be ascending. I really believe in Abdul Carter. Maybe this ages badly, but I think he's going to be an absolute freak. And I think if you have that collection of edge rushers added in with Dexter Lawrence, who might be the best interior defensive lineman in football, and probably is, this team at least has some things to be excited about. Malik Neighbors, one of the most fun young receivers in the NFL. I'm a big Malik Neighbors fan. I'm not saying this team's going to be good. They won 3 games last year. But I'll tell you, seeing some of these players makes me want to do a Giants franchise this year as my main franchise. I'm not going to. That'll be announced later. You'll see episode 1 when you see episode 1. But today we're going to be rebuilding the New York Football Giants and hopefully bringing them back to the promised land. It's been kind of a rough run. I'm going to give you my expert opinion at this point. I'm not sure I'm loving Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. We've seen a lot of it. We've seen 0 results. Now, the only reason I would give them a bit of a reprieve is you haven't had a quarterback. However, you made a decision to stick with Daniel Jones. That was a franchise-altering decision in a completely awful way that everyone should have been able to see a mile away, except for the completely biased Giants fans that thankfully I don't necessarily represent with. If you thought Daniel Jones was a superstar, you're part of the problem. And I know what people are already going to say. Bengal, nobody thought Daniel Jones was a superstar. I wish you could see the comments I've got over the years. I had people in the preseason of Daniel Jones' first ever action where he went like 6 for 6 or something on a drive against vanilla coverages. Oh, I bet you feel like an idiot now. I bet you feel like... Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, Russell Wilson. I'm ready to let Russ cook. This is going to be a disaster. Russell Wilson at quarterback in the big 2025. He's 36 years old. He loves life. I mean, I got to give him credit. I think if the Giants are like 1-6 and they give, Russell Wilson a post-game press conference, he's saying, man, we just got to keep working, I think I'm going to jump off my balcony. I think that might be the only option at that point. But there are some things to look forward to. You can tell from Cam Scadaboo's giant headshot that he's a really smart, intelligent runner. He's going to be a nice add to this running back room. I'm a big Tyrone Tracy guy. Wan'Dale Robinson exists. And Darius Slayton just got extended. I'd like to be able to develop Theo Johnson. The O-line has really been incredibly disappointing. And Andrew Thomas is getting into... I've seen this guy sit more times than start in the last few seasons, it feels like. Because he can be one of the best tackles in the league. There's no question. We have seen him play at that level. We have not seen him consistently get out there and actually protect the QB. And when he's the obvious best offensive lineman by a mile on this team, ideally, he would be playing. Defensively, this is where I'm excited. Because I think bringing in Javon Holland could be awesome if you get the Javon Holland from 2 years ago. The Giants need to force more turnovers. Bring in Paulson Adebo, a ball-hawking cornerback. Drew Phillips is a great slot option. Deonte Banks, can he emerge into actually being a viable option at CB2? I sure hope so. And then on the defensive line, we talked about Sexy Dexy, but man, I know he's a bit older as a prospect, no question, but I think the potential of Darius Alexander is actually pretty great. I think he would be a really nice complement as an interior defensive lineman to all the amazing edge rushers and Dexter Lawrence that are already here. He is older, but I think he could be an impact player sooner rather than later. I really like Darius Alexander. Bobby Okereke is sweet. The big question mark is going to be, what did the Giants do with Kayvon Thibodeau here in the game? I honestly might look to move him because there's not really going to be, okay, we're going to have Carter play off ball a little bit and, rush through the A or B gap when Thibodeau's off the edge. I'm really just going to focus on having 2 rush ends, and that kind of leaves Thibodeau as the odd man out. So here in Madden, he might be somebody that gets moved. If you look at his contract, the 5th-year option was picked up, but he's under contract for just 2025 this year, and then the 5th-year option of 2026, which has been picked up. He could be somebody that's on the chopping block, and depending on how 2025 goes, I might leverage him to move up in the draft. That's a possibility. I know I just took about 20 minutes going over the team, but this is the one wild card that we didn't talk about. The Giants traded back into the first round in order to take Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. And they saw it work before with Eli at Ole Miss, and they're like, Jackson Dart is next. I don't know. I think it's no secret I wasn't the biggest Jackson Dart fan on the planet. I don't know if there's much at Ole Miss that's going to translate into the NFL. It's a very, very different offense. But if he's got a year to sit and develop, he's got some pretty good physical tools. It's not a lost cause. Here in the game, though, he's a 68 overall with normal development. That's just going to be a tough hill to climb. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be tough mountain to climb. That's what it really is a mountain, not a hill. So this is a lot of the same drills, except slightly different. There's only one receiver drill now, which I prefer when there was 2. And there's still 2 quarterback drills, but only 1 rushing, only 1 defensive back. All right. I have no idea how this drill works. I don't know how to make this happen. I mean, I've got simply no clue. Oh, I mean, I don't know what I can even do here. I've got to be using free form passing. I see. All right. Well, I'm going to be bad at this one. Yep. I'll tell you, if I ever complete a free form pass in a game, it would be an absolute miracle. I will say the rushing attack one feels a lot more difficult this year because it's timed, it's in a short area, and I'm just not sure there's enough time to make any mistakes and still get gold, which is probably the way that it should be. But man, I'm having a little bit of a difficult time getting gold here on my first attempt because I just can't score a touchdown every play. I'm scoring on a lot of plays, but not all of them. And you need a lot of points to get gold right now. But we're making do. Just like country girls make do. And hopefully Tyrone Tracy can take us all the way. Okay, by far the best way to do it is how I should have been doing it all along. Just play really slow behind the fullback, and then just hit the speed burst right as Cam Scattaboo, in this case, engages with the block. And it honestly should be a touchdown basically every time. Just got to stay patient. That was actually hitting left trigger as well for a cut, just like I'm playing college football. And, yeah, that's been the pretty good strategy so far. That was the first time I actually got tackled. We might be good to go. In Madden Simulation, having a really good running back really matters a lot. We need to get Tyrone Tracy's overall up a ton. Also can't do chase and tackle with the outside linebackers now because they have the edge classification. So if you want to improve a defensive lineman or an edge rusher, you got to pick one. I also go Kayvon Thibodeau. Even though I'd like it to be Darius Alexander, the fact that he's already 25 is going to be not great. I know nobody's going to want me to come out and draft a quarterback, but if we end up with the #1 overall pick, and there is a true franchise-changing player with the last name Beckham, I might have to. Nate Beckham Jr. could be the move. We need quarterback. We just do. Even with Jackson Dart, We need quarterback. So if we end up with one of the top picks in the draft, it's going to be under heavy consideration. There are some options at QB. I think receiver still should be very much in play. And obviously the offensive line, for sure. The Giants could use an upgrade at corner. We could use an upgrade at corner. I like linebacker. Bobby Okereke is getting closer to 30. I think he's 29. Mike McFadden, I think, is good, but he's only got normal development here in the game. So we kind of have needs everywhere except for the defensive line. But I could still, if the right interior defensive lineman's available, I could still consider it. We're just taking best player available. We'll figure out how that fits into the team. There are enough holes where BPA will make us better. So we are actually 2-5 here at the midseason mark. We started out 2-0, and since then, pretty bad, I would say. It's a pretty good description. 28-0 loss to the Broncos last week. I wish I could say that was unrealistic. I've seen a lot of these over the years. I really have. Ideally, that would be reversed when we would have 28 and the Broncos would have 0. It's not exactly how it seemed to play out. Eagles in week 8, they're 7-0. Okay. And we actually have a bunch of free agents. Wan'Dale Robinson. Here's the problem with a lot of these guys. Cordell Flott, Micah McFadden, Evan Neal even. These guys don't want to be here. Evan Neal is an obvious one. But here's the thing. I get it. I know who Evan Neal is, right? I've got a pretty good idea. But in the game, he's 24 years old. He's a 75 overall. He is a good run blocker. The fella can't play tackle. I'll tell you that. Got no ability to pass block on an island. Not even close. Not even close. The game just moves too quick for some people, and that's the case with Evan Neal. As athletic as he is, he can't handle it. Now, some have said, okay, move him to guard. It worked for, Eric Flowers. It could work for Eric Flowers 2.0, which is Evan Neal. But again, if the game's moving too quick for him out on an island at tackle, the game moves even quicker on the interior. So is that actually that good of a fit? It does fit maybe his run blocking skill set, but I don't know what he's going to do. I'm sure he's going to go somewhere else and get developed and be good, but it hasn't worked with the Giants. But there's not really a whole lot I'm eager to keep here. Tommy DeVito, sorry, I think we could probably do better. I'm probably done letting Russ cook. The food stinks. We got to move on. So after 5 straight losses, what do? I think we head to the trade center and try to sell off some of these expiring assets, which is potentially Wan'Dale Robinson. The team just re-signed Darius Slayton, which is an interesting one. I could honestly trade him too, but I mean, we need to draft a receiver really badly. Keeping Wan'Dale, I think, is what I want to do, but is he going to be worth the money? I don't know. The Browns would be willing to give us Tevin Jenkins to acquire Russell Wilson here at the deadline. We'd also be picking up a 7th round pick. I don't see any reason to not do this. We're going to try and upgrade the offensive line slightly. I know Tevin Jenkins hasn't exactly worked out to a huge level so far in the NFL. He was supposed to be this awesome right tackle. That hasn't really played out. But for us, he's going to be affordable. He's going to be an upgrade over Greg Van Roten, who's only on a 1-year deal. And I think that's the way we want to go about it. I may try and bring back Evan Neal. I don't really have any attachment to Jermaine Illuminor, but I don't know what his value is going to be. I can get a 2nd round pick from Indianapolis if I send Jermaine Illuminor, Cordell Flott, and a 4th to Indianapolis. We are doing it. Picking up an extra 2nd round pick isn't bad, especially when you consider that this team does not have a 3rd round pick because of the Jackson Dart deal. Speaking of Jackson Dart and that trade up, he is going to be the starter now. I love Famous Jameis. Man, what a character he is. As far as playing quarterback, I'm going to lean on Jackson Dart here. We'll see if he can find something. I like Marcus Bowe a lot. I don't know if he's going to end up being a big-time starting tackle for the Giants or if maybe he moves inside to guard. I think the possibilities are, I would say, endless. There are 2 of them. He's going to play guard or tackle probably. Highly doubt center, but You know what? I'll say that's a possibility as well. He's got 3 possibilities. It's like Goldilocks. We got to find the porridge something. I don't know. Marcus Bowe, I think, could be good. I wish he had star dev. We're probably not going to be able to get him star dev, but I think starting him at right tackle could be fun over Evan Neal. But I'm going to get Tevin Jenkins in the mix. And then if we keep Evan Neal, he should probably start. Maybe I do want to transition Marcus Bowe to center. I don't think that's an awful idea for him, especially at only 302 pounds. He's got really good feet, too. So I think center's not impossible. I would prefer him to John Michael Schmitz. We're going to move him over. Abdul Carter is revealed to have superstar development, by the way, which is probably the way it should be. I really think he's going to be a monster player, and his ratings are awesome. 88 speed, 91 acceleration, 80 block shed. Already playing up to 85 finesse moves and 83 power moves. He can do everything. And I think Abdul Carter is so good, in fact, I don't know if there's an archetype in the game, in the draft generators, where you can even find somebody comparable to Abdul Carter. I think that's how good he is in the game. So that's definitely a big-time piece to build around. He and Brian Burns could be such a fun pairing on either side of the edge for years to come. And then, of course, Dexter Lawrence on the interior. He's going to make things way easier on those guys. Set up so many one-on-ones. And Darius Alexander should also be able to eat as a result. He's not bad. He's just not that young for a rookie. Yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson wants more money. Every time you need to do more to convince me. Yeah, more money. I get what you're saying, but I don't know if I want to do that. Micah McFadden, again, doesn't want to be here. Wants to be in a warm weather state. He picked going to school in Indiana. I don't know how true that is, but he hates playing for the Giants. Needs to be back home at Florida, I guess. Or in Florida, so the contract's really not too bad. But can we do better? For the price, probably. We probably can. I'll offer him that. And you know what? Micah McFadden's going to be back. I wasn't going to go a penny over, so I'm glad he accepted that. Evan Neal actually does want to be back. He thinks he's going to be the starting right tackle now. And I think we can develop him. He's affordable. He's young. His overall is not awful. Evan Neal's going to be back long term. Hopefully we can develop him. I need him to be pushing 80 plus. Everybody else, no thank you. If I could get a cheesesteak back for Greg Van Roten, I'd be thrilled. Nobody wants him at all. We are 3-9. The Patriots are 9-3. Brian Burns has a breakout. It says Brian Burns now has Superstar X Factor. Okay. Is that true? It is true. Abdul Carter's playing up to an 87, by the way. Pretty good for a rookie, I would say. He did not make the playoffs. That's not great. Approval for Brian Daboll is pretty bad. And we actually were not the worst team in the NFC. The Commanders went 4-13. The Eagles went 16-1. Atlanta crushed it, 11-6. Check out these season stats. How did Jackson Dart do? Pretty badly. 10 touchdowns to 20 interceptions. And day one starter tag. Okay. Well, he didn't even play the whole season. And threw 20 picks? I can't wait to see what season 2 looks like. We did not run the ball effectively at all. I mean, Tyrone Tracy, the fact that he almost rushed for 1,000 yards at 3.6 per carry, stop giving him the ball. Well, I guess we can't pass. Neighbors did go over 1,000, had 6 touchdowns. Wan'Dale wasn't too far behind. And then defensively, we were on the field a lot. Better put up some pretty good numbers. Bobby Okereke with 110 tackles, 5 for loss, 2.5 sacks, 18 TFLs for the rookie, Abdul Carter, 11 for Dexter Lawrence, 12 sacks. Micah McFadden had 10 TFLs and 5 sacks. Brian Burns had 9. Darius Alexander didn't do a whole lot here. And this is kind of my point about Kayvon Thibodeau. He did literally nothing. He barely even played. So, why are we keeping him? In Madden, he's just not going to make the same impact. He does have 88 speed in the game, though. Wow. I mean, this is something you would like to develop, but in Madden, where does he play? Where does he play? It's going to be tough to develop him. It really is. Interceptions, we had 2. Debo and Drew Phillips. It's not great. It's going to be a Rams-Ravens Super Bowl. Man, the Falcons are simulating really well. They crushed the Cowboys. See if that trend ends up continuing, but I mean, the Rams are simulating great as well. They kind of crushed the Lions in the wild card, beat the Eagles, beat the Falcons, and now they have a chance to take out the Ravens. See what happens with that. But yeah, obviously a very disappointing season for us. Our defense didn't seem to be all that bad. Production was okay. The pass rush was definitely pretty good. We had 2 guys with double-digit sacks, and Brian Burns was really close to making it 3, which is kind of what you expect from this team with these types of playmakers. But a 5-win season is not what you want. And we did allow too many points per game. But when the offense is not sustaining drives and not putting points up, the defense is going to be out there more often. Yeah, they are going to allow more points. It's just how that's going to work. Now, teams couldn't really pass on us, but they really, really ran the ball on us very well as the Ravens crushed the Rams in the Super Bowl 23-10. I say crushed. I mean, it's only 13 points, but it is more than double. I don't know. Jalen Hurts wins MVP, huh? Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, with Genty taking home Rookie of the Year honors on offense, and Jalen Walker on defense. Yeah, Atlanta had a great season, all things considered, and they made a really good Super Bowl run. What we're going to have to do is probably not re-sign anybody else and try and make some big moves in the offseason to really jumpstart this rebuild. I like Dane Belton, but what is he worth? $4 million per year to be a backup? Maybe on a 2-year deal, I'm okay with that. I said we were going to bring anybody back. I will pick up the 5th-year option on Deonte Banks. His re-sign interest doesn't really matter that much. I was going to pick that up anyway. And the big one's going to end up being Wan'Dale Robinson here. He wants more money. He absolutely is not worth the franchise tag price, which is going to be probably close to $30 million per year. I wish it would tell you. If you guys don't know how the franchise tag value is calculated, I believe it's the top 5 highest paid players at that position averaged out. Something like that. And could be top 3. Wan'Dale, it's do I want to pay like $9 million plus per year now to keep him? Probably 10, a little over 10. It's only a 3-year contract. I guess we get to see if he develops. He wants to play for a new team, and I'm going to tell you, it's not worth $26.3 million to keep Wan'Dale as a Giant. It's not. I know it tells you now. I would like to know prior to that. We can't really afford that. We could go negative cap, but it's not really feasible, and I want to make improvements in the offseason. I want to make some signings in free agency. If we're going to go out and improve wide receiver, it's going to happen in the draft. So Aiden Hutchinson has actually made it to free agency. He does want to be a Giant. Got bad news for you, Aiden. We can't afford to pay you, and we don't really have a spot for you. I know it's crazy to not have a spot for Aiden Hutchinson. Pretty good player. But it's just not really a great fit. Leo Chanel would be a better fit. And now, in Madden 26, that edge rushers and off-ball linebackers are valued differently, I don't have to pay Leo Chanel $20 million per year if I want him. It would be about $8 per year. This would be a really good fit. It'd be an upgrade over Micah McFadden. I know we just re-signed him, but getting another good linebacker in the mix is not a bad idea. He's only 25 years old. He's a good overall. He's got star development. I really love Leo Chanel. I don't love how his name is pronounced Chanel and not Chanel, but I do really like the player I can't be too picky. We just need more talent. Josh Metellus is an interesting one. Kind of a Swiss Army knife. Don't really need safety. I don't really know that we need to upgrade a ton here in the offseason. There are not going to be a ton of options. Looking at the available players, based on what we were able to bring back and what's currently on the roster, there aren't really going to be too many awesome fits. Ty Hamilton would be an upgrade. That's not an awful idea. But I don't know that we'd be able to get both Chanel and Hamilton. We are pretty low in cap room. I also did see that Romeo Dobbs is available. Another guy whose name is annoying to pronounce based on the spelling. Wandale is here but doesn't want to be here. Rondale Moore could be a nice Wandale replacement. He has not currently been offered. How about a 2-year deal for Rondale? How about goodbye Wandale, hello Rondale? It's a really low ball offer. He's going to get a better offer than that, but I just don't really have that much money. I can't really offer much more than this. I would do a 2-year deal at, I mean, this is as much as we can afford to pay him. Maybe is that 3 bars there? That's the best I can do. Chanel is headed to the 49ers. Rondale, still no offers. Still no offers. And now the Jets want to bring him in. I mean, we might be out of the Rondale Moore sweepstakes at that point. Rondale Moore is a Jet. I told you going in what the strategy was. I did want to make upgrades, but I'm not willing to break the bank in order to do so. We just don't have that type of money right now. I'm trying to bring in younger players, like Bobby Brown could make sense, right? But in free agency, you're not very likely to find a lot of young players who are good. It's just not really that common. Jalen Coker could be good depth. I actually, you know what? I kind of think Jalen Coker's really good. I know that's a weird take, but I've watched him and I think this guy has really good potential. I'm not saying he's going to be the best receiver in the NFL. I know I called the Puka Nacua breakout and everyone thought I was a savant. I'm not saying Jalen Coker's going to take that type of a jump, but I think he could be really, really good. A name that isn't getting a ton of hype right now, as far as I'm aware. He could end up being the most productive receiver on this team. Even with Teteroa McMillan, even with Xavier Legette, another annoying name. Dude, I wish I could just pronounce it like Legette, but nope. Xavier Legette. He's got a crazy accent. But Jalen Coker could be a good fit. He's going to be pretty affordable. Short-term contract. And we've got Jalen Coker. The rebuild over. Wrap it up. Subscribe. See you in the next one. Like the video. I can't wait. Tell me who to rebuild next down in the comments section below. We got Jalen Coker. It's over. Okay, so here's what we do know after focus scouting early on. Nate Beckham is a top 5 talent in the draft. And based on how quarterback overall scales, that means he's going to be a really, really good quarterback prospect. He's got the overall accuracy. He's a decent enough athlete. Maybe plus athlete at QB. Elite throw power. These are the things I look for. These are the things I want at the quarterback position. Now, the other quarterback that could be in play is Kyle Carey. He's around 2 to 3 talent. Maybe Bobby Irons is worth looking at here as a focus player. Doesn't quite have the same type of arm, but is really accurate, is really good under pressure. It's the difference between truly like a field general style quarterback that can be great within a system, get the ball out quickly, be accurate, versus Nate Beckham that can be more of an offense transformer. It's a weird way to put it, but he's got more capabilities with the arm. I don't know. Now, is Irons going to be a top 5 talent? I don't think so, but could also be worth taking if we want a high floor, low ceiling, or lower ceiling type of player. But we would have to move up a lot to get Beckham. We could bring in another LSU receiver. It's worked out pretty well so far. Odell Beckham Jr., that ended not the way I wanted it to. But then Malik Neighbors. How about Kadeem Bruton? Can run. He He can run. Man, this guy's fast down the field, huh? That's pretty much it right now, but he's a good athlete. Now, Jalen Davenport can do everything that I want a receiver to do, except for be a good athlete. He's really just more of an okay athlete that's very technically sound, kind of a big chain mover. That could work well with Malik Neighbors. If we were to move up for a quarterback, I think it'd be pretty difficult to upgrade receiver the way I'd like to. Okay, Quan Stark's going to be a guy for us. Elite speed, elite strength, B block shed, A tackle, A play rec, A hit power. Day 3 projection. Sign me up for Quan Stark. I'm ready to hit the Quan. Is that too old school of a reference at this point? Maybe it is. But I'm in. A man-to-man corner with A zone coverage is an interesting archetype. Elite speed, ran in the low 4.3s. Clarence Prince can fly. There are a lot of players I want. I think if anything, we would be more likely to trade up right now than trade down. But we're going to probably move around the board quite a bit. I also really like the look of Marco Alvarez. Could have A juke move, has A trucking, has A carrying, has A ball carrier vision. I don't know that Tyrone Tracy is the answer here in the game. Darren McFadden would have been cool. So we could take a running back in round 2. I'll tell you, UDFA here. Emilio Giraldo, or Geraldo. He can really pass block. Can't run block at all. But as a day 3 pick, that's going to be not bad. Peter Hewitt looks great at right guard. We could potentially upgrade at that position. This draft class at first glance does appear to be pretty good. So we'll see if we can really improve the team here. I'm excited to figure that out. And man, left tackle looks like it could be incredibly strong. Look at all these A's. Nate Beckham currently expected to be the Browns franchise savior at quarterback. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be too difficult to move all the way up. I haven't checked out the edge rushers at all. I don't think there's any scenario where I draft one. At least not in round 1. I'll tell you that for free. Bobby Irons expected to go somewhere in the 20s maybe. I think, yeah, we might be moving down. NFL draft time. We need to make our picks count. We are picking near the top of the draft for a reason. The reason is we stink. I want to know down in the comment section below. Let me know who you would take with the players I just showed. And you can go back and edit your comment. Tell me if you would make that same decision after seeing the overalls and after seeing how the draft plays out. I want to know your draft strategy here. Would you move up for the quarterback that the Browns are going to take? Would you trade back and get who the Steelers could possibly take? Would you take one of the other players I mentioned? I want to know. What would your strategy have been? And please be honest. I mean, I expect this to go Cleveland takes the quarterback and then we have to make an adjustment. If Nate Beckham somehow makes it to number 3, maybe I move up. There are receivers worth considering. Just kind of depends what type we want. If you guys have seen the channel before, you know I am no stranger to a trade down. But I don't want to trade down at the cost of getting a really, really good player. I'm trying to make the team as good as possible. I know it's really tough to pass on a top 5 talent in the draft QB. But he's going to the Browns. He's not going to be good anyway. So I don't think we're going to really miss this one. Ironically, we have already seen Beckham with the Browns because of the Giants. It didn't really work out that great. But Nate Beckham was just not going to be in the cards for us. Commanders picking number 2 overall in the draft. And maybe if we were there instead, we would have tried to move up to 1. But it just wasn't going to happen. And the mock draft has been perfect so far. And here we are at number 5. Let's first see our offers for the pick, because that might change what we want to do here. The Browns, of course, do have 2 first-round picks, 1 and 22. Why I would trade out of number 5 to pick up 22 and a 2nd next year and a 7th in 2028 is beyond me. I'd probably be better off just trying to make my own trade happen and get the most value that I can. But I'm not sure how much value we'll actually be able to get back for this pick. I don't necessarily want a late first and a first that's going to be a late first in 2027. I don't necessarily want 2 first-round picks, and I have to wait 2 and 3 years for them. Or I guess next year and the year after that. So the trade down offers initially are not good. Bobby Irons is a round 1 to 2 talent. And I think it's just overall like the throw power holding him back probably more than anything. He can be good. Not worth trading up for probably. And I really did like the corner. I don't know his true talent, but he looks really good. Clarence Prince, probably worth a top 10 pick. If I can't find a trade down partner in the top 10, I'm going to stick and pick. I'm going to try, I think, with Seattle, maybe? Yeah. Okay, there are a lot of moving parts here, and it does pain me to do this on a level because I really wanted the Giants to draft Kayvon Thibodeau. I was super excited, but he just doesn't really have a place to play on this team right now moving forward. There's just not one. Devin Singletary as well, because we free up some money. They wanted an extra running back, whatever. It's a first-round pick, number 5 overall, and a third in 2028. We're picking up a first this year and next year, a second-round pick this year, and a third-round pick this year. So a lot of moving parts there, but Kayvon Thibodeau is a Charger. I think in real life, the Giants should get very creative with how they deploy those 3 edge rushers, Burns, Thibodeau, Carter. But here in the game, we really just need the 2. And Abdul Carter, by the way, is up to Superstar X Factor, moving into year 2. Oh my goodness. Giants franchise? Incoming, potentially? He just got it. They're like, you know what? You're a monster. He's like, give me that X Factor. All right. I like that. Now, did Brian Burns lose X Factor? Is what I'm curious about. Sure seems like it. Brian Burns no longer an X Factor. He just traded it to Abdul Carter. Did Carter, offer a package he couldn't refuse? He just lost it. All right. Chargers go with Elijah Boyle, a defensive tackle at that spot. Of course, we know Jim Harbaugh got to beef up the trenches. Cardinals take an edge. Colts go back-to-back with edge rushers. There's Santiago Iglesias. First receiver off the board here, and we are 1 pick away. And there goes quarterback Kyle Carey to Seattle. We are on the board at number 10, and we have a choice. We know we can get a round 1 talent at wide receiver. What does round 1 mean? Anywhere in the draft from the 6th ranked player, and they could be tied with a player in the top 5. That's a possibility. 4 overall. To like 20-ish, maybe. Like, it's a good player. A true round 1 talent is a good player. He's got great speed, elite acceleration. He's just really more of a deep threat than anything else. Short and medium route running is not good. Not great hands. So I don't know if we're going to go with the LSU combo. And then Max Sweeney's a little bit older, but has 4.24 speed. Can really catch the ball down the field and run block. But his medium route running is really bad. The hands overall are not incredible. It's not something I would do here in the top 10. I'm going to take the corner. I think the best one is Clarence Prince. 6'3", 202, only 21 years old. Is a man-to-man archetype with A press, A zone coverage, elite speed, jumping, great acceleration, change of direction. He's a monster, and I think there's a clear path to playing time if Deonte Banks is not in the long-term future. I recognize receivers more of a need for us right now. I think Prince is the best player we can take. That's what I'm going to do. Clarence Prince, welcome to New York, or East Rutherford, New Jersey. Now, this is not the first time the Giants have taken a Prince in the first round. Prince Amukamara at corner. Out of Nebraska in 2009? Could have been 2011, actually. It was 09, the Hakeem Nicks year. That might have been. I think that's how it worked out. Well, it's an excellent pick. Number 2 player in the draft, we got him at 10. Track speed, great footwork to mirror routes and man coverage, but most effective in zone coverage, which is interesting for a man-to-man archetype. 97 speed, 93 change of direction, and jumping, 92 acceleration. That is a heck of a draft pick. He's got to be a starter for us. Now, the question becomes, with our newfound draft capital, do we move up in the draft? If Bobby Iron stays on the board, is that a move we make? Do we just wait and potentially go a different direction? Where's the running back? Because I did scout him, right? Did it not work? I really wanted more information on Marco Alvarez. We probably don't need him, but if he was a top 5 talent, you know, it's something I would have obviously considered, even with not needing a running back. If Bobby Irons is available at the Patriots pick, I'm going to consider jumping Pittsburgh. We shall see. Bruton goes off the board to Denver, which makes me think of David Bruton, who is a great, really a special teamer, but safety for the Broncos for a number of years. Many of you will remember David Bruton. That's not true. Some of you will. Is maybe more accurate. Browns at 22 pair Nate Beckham with Peter Hewitt, who looked to be a really, really good offensive lineman. Maybe somebody I should have moved up for, to be honest. Here are the Patriots at 24. What would it cost is what I'm curious about. Bobby Okereke. A 2 this year, 37. A 3 next year, and a 6th. Actually sounds pretty familiar with what the Giants moved up for Dart. Is Irons a true franchise difference maker? I don't know. I think we're going to at least give the Jackson Dart experiment a shot. So we're going to just stay where we are for right now. Irons does go to the Steel City. Steelers with their quarterback of the future, maybe. We'll see. Max Sweeney goes at number 35. That would have been great speed to add. He goes a couple of picks before. Now, there are still receivers on the board that I don't think are that bad. This is a pretty strong receiver class overall. Rucker would be adding great size. I also think Jalen Davenport is worth selecting. We actually talked about him a little bit earlier. His speed is really the one thing that makes him not that desirable, but I think this has got to be the pick. Jalen Davenport out of Georgia, 6'3". He's left-handed, interestingly enough, out of Georgia. Is George Pickens left-handed? Is this the George Pickens build? Pickens a better athlete, but we are going to go with Jalen Davenport. New weapon for Jackson Dart. He's a top 12 player. We took him at 37. Hands made of glue. No issues catching through traffic. Consistently bailed out quarterbacks with spectacular catches. That's what we need. Jalen Davenport and Malik Neighbors could be an incredible combo. We know he's not the fastest. He's got to find other ways to win. But good burst off the line with 92 acceleration, 90 agility, 90 jumping. He's going to be the create separation at the top of the route through physicality player rather than with his twitchy, explosive ability and speed. So Jalen Davenport is the pick. And we pick again at 42 and 39. So this is maybe where you do consider, you know, adding a running back. I haven't even looked at Luis Magana, to be fair. 6'5", 247 out of Florida. Great speed. I like Theo Johnson maybe a little bit more than Alvarez there. There is another receiver still available, Kelsheem Rucker, if he were to make it to us. He's got great speed. The actual attributes don't really look as great. And athleticism is great, right? You want that. However, I think you need to be able to do other things as well. And speed is not the end-all, be-all. These other receivers are not awful. Just Campbell, we know, is, I think, a round 2 to 3 talent, who looks pretty similar to Juan Battle. He's a little bit of a better athlete, though. Would we double dip at receiver? Maybe. Nope. Juan Battle goes to Arizona. Well, all right. That was fun while it lasted. I think he could end up being really good. I really just have a feeling about Marco Alvarez, though. I really do. It's just, he would be in the Cam Scattaboo role, and we have Cam Scattaboo. I'm not Kyle Shanahan. I'm not going to draft 3 running backs a year every year, but I think that could be a really good pick for us. And I said, we need just to take the best player available. I don't know. I might. Although Miles Ward is an incredible athlete, the attributes, I would say, look good enough. He's got a chance to start Alabama offensive lineman. That's always a good sign. Except, actually, you know, Alabama's been so good at recruiting offensive linemen and getting offensive linemen drafted really highly. And then, you know, it's hard to think of a ton of awesome Alabama offensive linemen. There are, just based on, you know, how many they've produced, but based on a percentage of high drafted Alabama O-linemen compared to how good these guys actually were, maybe not as great. Like, I think of the Evan Neal, obviously, but I think of the DJ Flukers of the world, Chance Warmacks of the world, same draft class. I think of, I mean, Ryan Kelly was Alabama. He's a pretty good center. I don't know. We're going to take Miles Ward anyway. He is the number 45 ranked player in the class. Took him at 39. He does have hidden dev, though. That's the important thing on the O-line. 89 strength, 72 speed, and we could use an upgraded center. Marcus Bowe played there down the stretch for us, but maybe isn't the answer. Here were our choices. Take Miles Ward, take a shot on a random player, or trade out of the pick, and I preferred to try and upgrade the position. I still don't think I'm going to take Marco Alvarez. The only thing I absolutely need to do is get Quan Stark. I don't know what the overall is going to end up being, but he looks like he could be insane value. He's supposed to go on day 3. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to take him way earlier than that. And we don't have a 3rd round pick, or at least we didn't prior to the trade with the Chargers. I think we actually may now. Round 3, pick 74. Would I risk him getting drafted? I don't think so. Eagles are going to be a 1st round pick for this next year. That's going to be tough to turn down. I know they're going to be great, but man, that's a tough call. I know this sounds crazy. I think I'd prefer the day 3 linebacker. I want to move down, stay in round 2, and just get an extra pick. And the way we do that is with, I mean, Atlanta offered it. I'm going to accept it from Detroit. I moved down a little bit. I still, you know, keep a fairly high pick as Marco Alvarez goes to Denver. And I'm just going to take the linebacker here. I think he looks really, really good. Linebackers flying off the board. Quan Stark, welcome to the Giants. We'll see what he looks like. He's the number 7 player in the draft. We got him at 53, quick enough to stay with most tight ends and halfbacks, consistently shows high-level instincts, consistent tackler. He does have hidden dev, 91 speed, 89 acceleration, 82 strength. Every single draft class, I go through and I look at every single player and their grades. Some of them stand out a lot. He had A's all over the place. And then you open up the player card, and it's very good elite athleticism in some areas. A hit power, A play rec, A tackle. Quan Stark, I thought was going to end up being quite good. I didn't think number 7 overall player in the draft good, but we are crushing it right now. And I'm super thankful I did not trade out of Quan Stark range. Big pick for us. And now in round 3, we could potentially move out of this pick. And that might be the move. There are 3 elite speed players left in the entire draft. One of them is left tackle Ramon Allen. I mean, it's interesting, right? In terms of actual ability, doesn't look great. But is it a player worth taking a shot at? I don't know. The Eagles will give me a 2027 second round pick for this 3rd. They can have it. Interdivision trading. Gotta love it. I just would prefer the future trade up. We're probably only moving up about 10 or 15 spots at the most. But we're, doing it next year. So it does, lose a lot of value because of that. But there's just nobody I really feel super good about at this point. I'd rather just move out of the pick, right? So in round 4, I think, and this may end up being a reach, I think I'm just going to end up going with Emilio Giraldo. He's supposed to go undrafted, potentially, right? But that doesn't always happen. It's not always the case. He can't run block. He's a great pass protector. We can find a role for him, even if his overall is not great. But it may be. He's ranked as the number 21 player in the class. We took him at 117. It's just, he's got hidden dev as well. For a guy that had A awareness, A pass block power, A pass block, like, if he can't run block, whatever. He's an elite pass protecting prospect. This draft is going about as well as it could have gone. I know we passed up on a quarterback who we knew to be a top 5 talent. Manu Machado, the Padres third baseman, one of the Browns. But I think we did what we had to do. And this my first draft where I'm actually drafting of Madden 26. And it's going pretty well. Dylan Jones is really high play rec. 6'2", 344. He's a nose tackle who's a good athlete overall. Welcome to the Giants, Dylan Jones. Sometimes I can make decisions that quickly. He's ranked as the number 23 player. We took him at 133. Normal dev, but 91 strength, 70 speed at 344 pounds. Sometimes this game and drafting is as simple as scrolling over positions to see important attributes, looking for the A grades, and then making decisions based off of that. That's all I did just there. I said, hey, we could use another defensive tackle. And boom, we got one. It's as easy as that. A spectacular catch for Doug Woodley. He's got C everywhere else. B release is not bad. Not maybe the best athlete. But you know what? He's good depth. He's not going to be a first-round talent, I'll tell you that. But we'll take him. Ranked number 107, got him at 165. I'll have the CPU handle the rest of the draft. Well, actually, I'll take the last pick. We only have one more at 180. So I'll take number 180, and then we'll get ready for year number 2. I'm feeling pretty confident moving in. The quarterback situation is a problem, admittedly, but it could be worse. A, catching traffic for Jay McMillan. I could use depth at defensive tackle. He's a decent enough athlete. That's the pick. Is taking undrafted players the move this year? He's got hidden dev. Hey, we'll take that. What a draft this was. A lot of hidden dev this year, by the way. Got a lot of normal dev last year. Did I get lucky? Or have there been real changes made? That's the question. Let's check out the draft recap as the Browns are already trying to move Dylan Sampson. Clarence Prince is an 81 overall. That is an excellent start here. 81 overall is great. That might be the top rated player in the draft. Maybe not, but it could be. 78 man, 82 zone. We'll absolutely take that. Unpredictable personality. You know what? I like that at corner. Never let him know your next move. Future starter, day 1 starter tags. He's got the play ball trait. We can actually add some here. Does that mean he is superstar? I honestly don't really know. I feel like play defender. Players with this trait will be safer and won't try for interceptions they may be able to reach. I don't really love that. But I like some of the other stuff. Add big hitter. Add disciplined. So they have just access to all of those. But do I want to add play defender? I kind of like the idea of getting an interception, you know? He's got high catching. It's a great first pick for us. We'll see the rest of the draft class in a minute overall. Jalen Davenport is a 77. I feel really good about that. Probably going to be wide receiver 2 right away. He's really well-rounded. Again, not the best athlete ever, but he's not bad. He's just a little bit slow. But can definitely make you miss. He's a good route runner. Won't drop the ball. I like all of these things. Miles Ward's a 73. Quan Stark is a 78. and an upgrade over Micah McFadden right now with star or better development. He's got 89 tackle already, 88 hit power. His coverage leaves a lot to be desired. That's the big area where he's not very good. But man, the rest looks fantastic. Geraldo's a 75. Dylan Jones is a 75. What a draft class for us overall. Now, who are some of the players we missed out on? Yeah, the draft classes are a bit more juiced this year. Denzel Billingsley is also an 81 at corner. Nate Beckham is an 80. Jimmy Sanchez is an 80. Peter Hewitt, who I talked about, is an 80. Guard is juiced this year. Daquan Chamberlain was a really good receiver, although I don't think I was ever going to draft him. I was looking at other options more at receiver, but Nate Beckham is an 80 overall quarterback headed to Cleveland. Let me know down in the comment section below. Would you prefer Nate Beckham on my team, or what I got instead by not trading up? I was able to really shore up a lot of the team. He looks pretty good. Very good accuracy everywhere, really. Deep is still pretty good. 95 throw power. 82 speed. He's going to be really, really good. Brown's definitely probably glad they're picking at number 1 overall when they end up with him. But our draft was just fantastic. And Marco Alvarez was one of the best players in the draft. 77 overall, though. But with that pick, you know, we did really well. I'd rather just have Cam Scattaboo if this is going to be what he looks like. He's got 93 juke move, though. That's really, really high. That would have been A grade. Had I known that, I probably would have drafted him. But seeing his overall, not awful at a 77, but I think I just prefer Scattaboo. So I'm actually going to kick Tevin Jenkins back over to right tackle. Geraldo is going to be a starter for us early. Ward is going to be a starter for us early. We've got a really good offensive line for the future. McMillan's going to be tight end 2, probably. Davenport's going to be wide receiver 2. And then defensively, we've got 4 solid cornerbacks. That's kind of where I want to be. I'm going to move Micah McFadden over to Sam, just so we can see Stark appear. But I'll tell you what, Micah McFadden is up to star dev. Makes him a little bit more intriguing, but I think Quan Stark is going to be a monster for us. And it's just, where does Prince play? Over Drew Phillips, really, because I want Prince on the outside, Drew Phillips in the slot. Deonte Banks is a 4th corner, and probably not somebody we re-sign long-term, but could be traded in his 5th year. But this team is starting to look really, really nice overall, and we'll see how we simulate in year 2. It's going to tell us a lot about whether we're going to stick with Jackson Dart or look in a different direction. First look at Quan Stark. I think he's going to end up being a superstar type player for us. And I think my controller died. That was weird. Looks like it's back on now. Bang! I can't just be screaming bang after midnight in my apartment. That's insane. All right. Quan Stark, though. That's how I feel about him. More like Quan Spark. This guy's electric. I wish I could see me in the audience right now. I'm on absolute fire. We also can't sleep on Prince at all. Like, Prince has the capability of being a future best cornerback in the NFL type of player. He's got incredible speed. He's got a good feel for zone coverage. He can obviously play in man, not only due to the athleticism, but the press skills. I'm really, really excited about his future. We got so many great players in this draft. If Jalen Davenport can be a contributor, I might just play him like a big slot. That might be a better fit than Wandale, honestly. Davenport can end up being a freak. We'll see. This will be the team for season number 2, post-training camp. We did get some upgrades. Some players did not go up in overall, like Quan Stark. He did jump up to a 79 overall, moving to outside linebacker compared to playing Mike. However, upgrading his pass coverage, upgraded his pass coverage, but not his overall. So he's slightly better in man and zone, but not really by much. Still looks incredible. I still think I'm going to throw him out there at sub linebacker despite not having incredible cover abilities. I just feel like he's going to be able to develop the quickest in that spot. And then The pass rush looks insane. Running backs look pretty good. We're going to see how this team looks in year 2. I'm not going to make a prediction because playbooks are really, really important to how your team simulates how they win and how they lose. So, no prediction just yet, but we are better. That's for sure. 82 overall, we are better. This quarterback class looks pretty good off the bat. Eduardo Ramirez, Miles Weary, Nick Woodard. We already have 3 quarterbacks projected to go top 6. So if we were going to upgrade a QB, it looks like we're going to have a couple of options. Weary only 6 foot tall. Scrambler archetype. Interesting. We'll have to see what happens, but one thing I do know, we're going to want to get those guys scouted. I'm going to have a video out on this, I'm sure, about how to scout in this game, but let's think about it. There are only like 3 quarterbacks that you're ever going to really care about, probably. Maybe a bit more. Use your focus players on the quarterbacks. You don't need to make it a national scout for QB. I think it's a complete waste because there are so few, right? You want to use your national scout on positions with a lot of players that are going to be ranked high and really a lot of players in general. Quantity is important. You want to have the most information you can. So wide receiver, corner, really anything except for quarterback. Probably wouldn't do running back either as my national scout. But we have D tackle, corner, and halfback right now as the national strengths of the class. I do think it can change because last year I feel like it changed. But the fact that I'm not seeing a lot of QB already is concerning. But Northeast, yeah, you can do a regional scout. Like 2 quarterbacks in the Northeast. Let me fire all of my scouts and assign a quarterback scout to the Northeast. We'll get QB figured out. Wide receivers also a strength of the class. This is how you want to set it up, but I will have a video. Mid-season mark, we are 4-2. Our defense has been fantastic. The offense obviously has not been. That's been the biggest struggle so far. And that makes sense because I feel so strongly about the players we have on defense. Offensively, not so much. It's just star dev for Davenport and the offensive lineman. McMillan has not played enough to have that revealed up to this point. Jackson Dart is developing somewhat. If we were to draft a quarterback, he would probably come in with a similar overall to where Dart is now, just with, you'd hope, a better dev trait. The accuracy, short and medium, are actually quite good. Like, there is a lot to like here with Jackson Dart, but the normal dev, the marginal throw power, the awful awareness, those things are going to be tough to upgrade, and that plays a lot into overall and performance. Defensively, we've got star dev for Prince and Stark, so we may have hit hidden dev on a lot of different players. We didn't really hit any really good dev traits, unfortunately, unless McMillan casually has superstar, which I would say probably not the case. But we are above 500 right now, and that means we could be a playoff team, I think, very comfortably. It's early in the year. 4 wins does not make you a playoff team. Believe me, as a Giants fan, I'm very aware of that up to this point, even though the Giants never start out with 4 wins in the first half of the season. Typically, they're about 1-6, and then they win meaningless games at the end of the year to have their draft pick lower and get out of drafting potentially Drake May or Jaden Daniels or even Caleb Williams potentially, right? Obviously, you want to win. You're not going to have your players go out there and say, hey, please lose so we can get a better draft pick, and we'll see how that works out. The team with the best pick doesn't always come away with the best player, obviously. Fabio Carrique, expiring contract. I would like to bring him back. 2 years, I think, is totally fine. He is fairly expensive, but he's still good. We could potentially trade him and turn the reins to Quan Stark and Micah McFadden. So maybe just a year on Bobby. I would be okay with franchise tagging him. It shouldn't be like ridiculously expensive at middle linebacker. It's going to be expensive, but it may make sense. John Runyon to this point, not that important to bring back, but really not very expensive. He's going to be back for about $6 million per year. I didn't talk about Jalen Hyatt because I don't think there's much to say, honestly. He has the same skill set for the most part that Darius Slayton has, and Slayton signed an extension. I don't know what Hyatt's going to do. I really don't. He had a great college season in a really weird Josh Heupel offense with the wide splits and the deep option routes down the field, but that's not really an NFL skill set, unfortunately. Definitely don't want famous Jameis or JMS back. Yeah, we're good for right now. I simulated to where we could do focus players. We're 5-6. Things are falling apart. We do end the year with a couple of wins, but I don't believe it's enough to make the playoffs. We finish 8-9. Now, Rome wasn't built in a day. That's okay. That's improvement. I'm not mad about that. Jackson Dart was top 10 in passing touchdowns. He is turning the ball over at a crazy rate still, but I do like that the touchdowns went up quite a bit. He's up to an 84 overall, actually. He got an insane amount of upgrades. Where is this coming from? At this point, we have an 84 overall, 23-year-old quarterback. He just developed so unbelievably quickly. I don't get, where are all the skill points coming from? I guess he did throw 30 touchdowns, but I don't know. I mean, he's getting just a crazy amount of XP. He hit 3,500 passing yards and 30 passing touchdowns. That's where the XP came from. It's a pretty good week 17. All right, well, that's a big difference in the development of Dart. A big difference. Still no running game. Tyrone Tracy's not a high enough overall. That's what it comes down to. You need like an 88 overall running back plus, ideally 90 plus. Otherwise, they just don't play that well. Tyrone Tracy's 26, going to be 27. That regression's going to hit hard at 28. We're still going to stick with him. But what a rookie season for Jalen Davenport. 87 catches for close to 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Neighbors over 1,000 yards, had 8 touchdowns. Jalen Davenport, if that's not enough to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, I don't know what is. He's up to an 85 overall to match the jersey number, playing up to 99 catching. And he surely got a ton of XP as well. I guess it's just season goals and milestones. I'm sure when he hit 8 receiving touchdowns, he got 11,000 XP. I mean, that is a lot of touchdowns in a year, to be fair. And I'm sure he got a ton of XP when he hit 1,000 yards as well. What a year for Jalen Davenport, quickly becoming one of the league's best. And I guess that's a big difference of Madden 26 so far, is if your rookies and younger players play really well, they're going to get upgraded accordingly. So that is actually quite a nice change compared to Madden 25. Really good season for Davenport. If we check out our defense here, Abdul Carter did get to double-digit sacks. We had 3 tacklers, or 3 players with over 100 tackles. 3 triple-digit tacklers is what I wanted to say. 15 TFLs for Burns, 14 for Carter, 12 for Lawrence, 9 for Quan Stark. Very nice year. Carter and Lawrence both with double-digit sacks. McFadden, I don't know how he's getting the QB this much. He had a lot of sacks this year. He's doing it again. Or last year. This year and last year. 6.5 for Burns. 2 picks for Drew Phillips. We're not really turning over the other team very much. But I do like that Quan Stark got one, and he's not really that good of a coverage player. Is that going to be enough to win Defensive Rookie of the Year? I'm not sure, but he's up to an 83 overall already. We are developing at a really good rate. The offense has not quite found it yet, and that's okay. Our defense is great. Our offense is about to find it. Just got to help them out in the draft and free agency. We're going to be ready to go. Yeah, we missed the playoffs in year 2, but we weren't really aiming. I mean, you're always aiming, but we weren't really aiming for the playoffs in year 2. We had a long way to go from one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best. Year 3 is where I expect us to make that playoff push, and if you can get in the playoffs, it's a tournament. Any given Sunday, we could play in the Super Bowl. In year 3, it's a possibility. We're up to an 85 overall. as the Ravens beat the Bucks in the Super Bowl. Lamar wins Super Bowl MVP. And you can see Jalen Davenport did win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Burrow wins MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year. TJ Watt, another Defensive Player of the Year. And it'll be Saints defensive tackle Justin Buchanan, not a name I remember, who wins it with, or who wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. I would say we're on track. We just need to ace the offseason, and we're going to be a playoff team. It really is as simple as that. Neighbors, fifth-year option, we can pick that up. Okereke is down to an 82. Ooh. I mean, I'm not going to offer him $15 million per year. I simply can't. I would give you a 6. He's going to test free agency. That's fine. I can't re-sign him. Can't do it. Graham Gano down to a 69 overall. Not so nice, actually. And we'll move to free agency. We need a kicker. We could use a punter with Jamie Gillen. And, I mean, we're up to an 87 overall now. There are fewer lower overall players kind of bringing us down. Kyle Hamilton's here. I'd be more interested in Zay Flowers, who is interested in us. Boston College guy, so he doesn't really mind the cold, you'd assume. He'd be a really nice third option. But for $25 million per year, absolutely not. No chance. Money matters. Gervon Dexter could be the move. John Franklin Myers could be a good idea. Davenport does go up to superstar dev. Jackson Dart, I thought maybe would get the upgrade to star. It hasn't happened, but the overall is good. The overall is good. Defensively, Micah McFadden has superstar. Prince goes up to superstar. But we could use a defensive tackle. But I don't think we need linebacker that badly with McFadden getting a superstar dev here. I don't think we do. We could use depth, obviously, but maybe we'll draft one. I don't know. The only clear place where we could upgrade right now is defensive tackle. So Gervon Dexter is somebody that makes a lot of sense. Anything on the interior D-line, I think, would be fantastic, which is just defensive tackle nowadays. With the edge classification coming out. Very nice change. I've been asking for it for a while. And, I mean, Gervon Dexter is just clearly the best option. You are going to have to pay a lot to get him. Or we are. But I would say worth it. It's a known quantity here. 85 overall. Or close to it. Make the right decision, Gervon. Be a Giant. And Gervon Dexter has signed with the Giants. Very, very nice. We do need to add a kicker. As I mentioned, Jake Bates makes the most sense. I don't know that I'm going to pay him all this, but he should end up accepting something like this. A lot of job security here, Jake. Make the right call. Today, we're going to be rebuilding the Kentucky Wildcats. Let's get Bryce Behringer here. Nice little upgraded punter. Well, the quarterbacks appear to be good, not great. Weary is the new #1 ranked QB. He ran a 4.3. I'm going to be drafting him, maybe. Miles Weary ran a 4.3, 540 at his pro day. He's accurate enough. I have Jackson Dart, who's developed, though. I can't. I would like to. I can't. We had defensive tackle scouted really well. Here's a potential UDFA that is a true round 1 to 2 talent. I mean, we just have so much information. I don't really know why we'd take a defensive tackle very high. All right, who is this? Franklin Russell, expected to go undrafted. What did he... I don't even want to guess, but he's a top 5 talent. I'm very glad I scrolled all the way to the bottom. He's a monster. Why are you here? Oh my goodness. Why would we ever draft a defensive tackle high? Look at the ones that won't even be drafted. We're going to get a round 1 to 2, and top 5 talent if we want. What? Josh Ventura, skip the combine. Hey, Roger Goodell. Not doing your combine. F injury. Another Penn State tight end. He's got 8 deep route running, great speed, elite acceleration. Could we consider a tight end at the back end of the first round? Hey, it worked out so great with Evan Ingram. Except it didn't with the Giants. But he was a fantasy beast. Yeah, all right. He did really come into his own with Jacksonville. You got to give him credit for developing him there. Manuel Santiago also looks pretty good. The one thing I'm noticing more than ever in Madden 26 is there is actually great value down the board. You just need to find it. And we're doing a pretty good job so far. Ooh, you've got A everything, but you're around 1 to 2 talent. How slow are you, Cam Williamson? Not as slow as I was expecting. He's really a round 1 to 2 guy. I mean, these are not bad players. Keep in mind, by the way, we have 2 first-round picks. That makes things pretty fun. But I'm not going to be trading up here. I'm going to try to find the value. And maybe the value is making a big-time splash, trading out of the first round for a known quantity. Can we get a big-time player? Ooh, don't do this, Bucks. This is the mock. A lot of D tackles going here at the end, and they all suck. The Eagles can do that. That's totally fine. If you want to do that, make your move. I will say it's interesting they're round 2 to 3 projected, yet they're being projected in the first. That doesn't totally work to me. I'm not trading up, so we can just simulate to number 12. That's exactly what we've done. We know we can upgrade defensive tackle. So what would we trade for? It would be, I guess, a superstar tight end or another linebacker. But remember, we do have Micah McFadden. So it's not the biggest need ever. Corner looks good. We're going to need a corner if we don't bring back Deonte Banks. Let me see if the tight ends are crazy. I mean, Ventura's a round 1 to 2 guy. I did focus scouting on the other tight end as well. He's a day 3 pick. He looked pretty good. Where did I get fooled? I mean, D spectacular catch is really bad, I guess. Not a big blocker, I guess, but he looks pretty good still. And this should be a pretty good lesson to you, by the way. If you're sorting by talent, make sure you're checking all the positions, because this is just going to show the top 50 guys available, right? Or something close. I think top 50. You got to account for the players that have been drafted. So there can be players clearly who are top 5 talents that you don't know about because you didn't check every position. I don't know why Franklin Russell is the next best defensive tackle in the NFL, but I'm happy we found him. Imagine he gets drafted before I'm able to. I'm not going to take him in the first. That'd be insane if we think the value is undrafted. Dude, the Dolphins tight end Luis Magana has superstar X Factor. Would they trade him for a first-round pick? He's only a 78 overall, maybe it's one to come back to. Although, Longhorn legend Jatavion Sanders is here, expiring contract. I would not trade a first-round pick for him. I'd trade a first-round pick for this guy. Would the Raiders be looking to sell? It would take multiple first-round picks to get Brock Bowers. Is that worth it for a tight end? The answer is really no, but Madden's a little bit different than real life. The Rams have a couple of good ones. Are tight ends going to be insane in this year's game? I've seen a couple of good ones with good dev traits already. The Dolphins will end up making the move. Luis Magana is a giant. We traded a first-round pick to get him. We're playing the long game there, but I think it's an upgrade. I know that seems like a weird move, but I think we can force feed him the ball. I think he is a long-term upgrade over Theo Johnson. I think this was a good move. Now, trading the number 12 overall pick for a tight end seems crazy, but Magana seems crazy. And maybe being from Florida, maybe that checks out here with Luis Magana at tight end. He could be an absolute killer for us. I feel like 84 speed, 85 spectacular catch, 91 catch in traffic. This guy has the makings of a monster. Hang the ball up in the air, let him go make a play. Chiefs playbook potentially to make the most out of that. That's a possibility. And we do pick at number 12 still. So what do we want to do here? How about another Florida Gator? Martin Gonzalez? He's not the fastest. He's just a classic kind of slot receiver. Maybe better with the ball in his hands. I think a good guy to add to the mix. He is a round 1 talent. True round 1 guy. Could be a top 10 player in the class for us. And we could use another receiver, to be honest, over Darius Slayton long term. Martin Gonzalez is the one. Ranked number 11. Reliable pass catcher, strong, reliable hands to make contested catches. Runs medium routes with leverage and smooth cuts. He's at normal dev. Good return man. Is he worth the number 12 overall pick? Unlikely. And I think the Dolphins did end up taking a tight end, by the way. I have Elijah Winters watched here. Obviously wouldn't take him now, but that's an interesting idea. I think at this point we're in a round 2. I've got all these different favorites that could end up being great for us. I have Jonathan Guerrero as an option. He looks pretty good. It's like I have all these players that I want to draft, but it seems too early to draft them if I know they're going to be available. We could use a backup quarterback, to be honest. Seems like a weird time to take one, but it's an option. Leslie Bingham is an interesting player. Pass coverage type with elite speed at Mike linebacker. He really doesn't seem to be much of a tackler, though. He doesn't really do the linebacker things. I feel like it's bait. I feel like it's a trap. Take the athlete that isn't actually good. Maybe I'll pass. I mean, at this point, the team is really good, and we have young players that are only going to get better. It's tough to figure out what to do with these picks, which leads me to believe, okay, a trade down is probably in our best interest. And I haven't traded down nearly as much as I indicated that I might earlier. I honestly think it's another trade with the Eagles. We get a second-round pick next year and the year after that. I don't really mind trading out of that. Hopefully the Eagles kind of fall off a bit. I know we're, in a way, helping them move up and take a player that they want. But it's not really hurting me right now because I think our team's good. And, you know, I'm hoping that we can actually overtake Philadelphia. And let's start taking some of these players. I don't need another tight end, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Guerrero here. Hopefully an upgrade at linebacker. He's got great speed, a tackle, a hit power. Is the coverage great? It's average, but that's fine. Jonathan Guerrero is ranked at 110. We took him at 61. Slow linebacker in today's game. He's got 84 speed. He's had great speed. I was baited. Normal dev. I don't think he's awful. As a special teamer, maybe that's you want more, a little bit more than that at the end of the second round, but that's not awful. But we're about to level up here. Right now, Franklin Russell, potentially gonna go undrafted. He is a top 5 talent in the draft. Nose tackle, B block shed, B finesse moves, B power moves, A tackle. So typically a nose tackle is not really gonna be much of a pass rusher. The fact that he can do it at an above average level already feels awesome. Welcome to the New York Football Giants. He is a top 5 player, of course. Number 4 in the draft. We took him at 79. Strong core and base. Shows excellent technique to shed blockers. Possesses menacing bull rush. He does have hidden dev. I was worried that it might be normal with his UDFA projection. I wonder if there were storylines about that where, hey, you know, this guy has talent, but he's scary. Didn't really check out any of the draft storylines. I typically don't, to be honest. But maybe his brother Quan went a couple picks after. We're just going to keep taking defensive tackles at this point. We found the value. Defensive tackle, we made our national scout, tier 3. It's paid dividends. We found some incredible talent at the position. Salvador Ruiz is just the next man up. He's ranked number 12. We took him at 111. Set the state record for bench press reps in high school. Effective at shedding blocks in the run game. Good arsenal of power rush moves. Also a hidden depth guy. A little bit slower. Also the nose tackle archetype. 6'4", 353 from Washington. We just drafted Vita Vea. This is Vita Vea. Not maybe on the same level, but Vita Vea was not the number 1 overall pick, right? He had to become a monster player. So Salvador Ruiz just has a little bit of development to do. And we're going to continue to upgrade our interior defensive line depth with Matthew Baldwin. Another nose tackle. Our nose tackle is just really strong in Madden 26. It's a possibility. Matthew Baldwin probably going to be ranked somewhere around 30 if I had to bet. It's number 37, NFL ready strength, sheds blocks with ease, pass rush plan starts with power, and ends with more power. And we like power. 93 strength, 86 acceleration, 72 speed. I mean, he's a really good athlete. We got a lot better today. We are ready for Season 3. I think we're a playoff team. So, draft recap. We ended up doing pretty well. Martin Gonzalez is actually a 77 overall. 78 for Franklin Russell. Jonathan Guerrero just, I feel like isn't bad. He's definitely my worst draft pick I've made so far. CPU swung and missed at the bottom. But I don't think he's bad. Actually, looking at the attributes, he's just extremely one-dimensional. He cannot cover. He also cannot wear 92. Okay, let's change that right away. Michael Strahan's number? No. You can wear a number in the 50s. Where's 56? No, he can't wear Michael Strahan's number either. Although, can we not choose any of the other numbers because they're actually retired, or have they been given to other members of the team? We'll see. Also got to be careful. No 53 for Harry Carson. I think 58's Carl Banks, to be honest. But, I mean, we did well here. Franklin Russell's a 78. That is definitely good enough to play. We have a lot of nose tackles now. He's not really much of a pass rusher, but this may make the job of Dexter Lawrence a whole lot easier. That's a real thing. If you look at the actual draft here, 81 overall for Benamaya. And if you look at what Madden 25 and previous iterations had to offer, you're not going to find a player like Benamaya. And it's what I've been saying for a while. The high-value positions that actually go high in the draft should be going high in Madden, and they weren't. You don't see corners and receivers going number 1 overall the way they did in Madden 25 and 24 and 23. You see tackles and edge rushers. And, I mean, historically, we have seen a couple defensive tackles. I know we've seen a receiver or two, but it's been a really long time. I think the NFL's changed so much, we just don't see that. It's quarterback, first and foremost, and then you see tackle, edge. Those are the 3 positions that can go number 1 overall in today's game. I'll even just say D-line, edge, tackle, QB. 4 overall positions, but D-line, you know, edge and D-tackle we can kind of put into one. It's D-line, O-line, but you're not going to see a guard or center go number 1 overall, so I didn't bother saying that. But yeah, QB's first and foremost. These guys are going high. 94 speed for Miles Weary. You'd think based on his last name, he'd be losing speed pretty quickly, getting tired, but nope. He's got incredible speed, and, you know, maybe he is weary. He doesn't have great stamina. Got a cannon, though. Accuracy's okay. He would be an awesome player to draft. But we have Jackson Dart. Yay. If you look at the actual class, it's just not as good as it was last year. Just not. We actually did pretty well. I mean, Gonzalez is one of the best players in the draft. He's pretty good. And Dion Barden, maybe a new Neon Dion headed to Dallas. Dion Barden has 89 speed at middle linebacker. can tackle, can cover a little bit. So this will be the team for season number 3. I'm hoping to get Luis Magana going with KC playbook. We really want to feature the tight end. We have 2 really good receivers in Neighbors and Davenport. I want to probably get a little bit away from the run game, but Dart is developing. The normal dev is ugly, but he's an 85 overall, so he is pretty good at this point. And then defensively, we're great. Remember that Micah McFadden is a starter, and because we play in a 3-4, Johnson's not really going to see the field very often, even though he appears to be a starter. D-line looking crazy with Russell, Lawrence, Dexter. Got Alexander potentially working in. I love the corners. Prince is up to an 86 overall. And of course, you can see in Specialist, it's starting to look pretty good. McFadden is going to be 80 plus. Stark is only a 77 overall sub linebacker. Coverage needs to get better. The pass rush, I think, is going to carry us. The offense, I think, is going to take a big leap this year. I'm thinking this will be a playoff year. I'll see you at the midseason mark. Just a couple of 4-2 teams squaring off here in 2027. Giants, Eagles. We're an 87 overall. Very quickly catching up to the Philadelphia Eagles. Are we finally going to have a player above star development out of the draft? Of course, these guys can get upgraded, so not that worried about it. And the answer is we don't know. Russell has not yet played enough. He's got to be close to 500 snaps. 494. Not a great pass rusher, but there is a lot of talent there. D-line, I mean, similarly to the Eagles, right? Just bulk up. They can't run the ball at you. And if you got a guy like Jalen Carter that can actually rush the passer too, I mean, you're in trouble. And Dexter Lawrence is obviously, I mean, leaps and bounds, head and shoulders above Jalen Carter as a player right now. So we've got an upgraded Eagles D-line, essentially, right? Let's see if this team can make the playoffs. Well, we did beat the Eagles 38-14, did beat the Saints 19-7. Figure I should probably try and re-sign players so I don't have one shot at it. And speak of the devil, future Hall of Famer, if he keeps up at this pace, Dexter Lawrence does want to be here, is incredibly expensive. It's going to run me over $35 million per year. Maybe it gets a little bit better if I can space this out over the next 4. He's still going to be good. I'll do even over 5. He's still going to be good for all of this. Can I get this money down? I'm going to try to get it closer to like 32 per year, and he wants a little bit more money. You're getting so much money, though. Just, you don't need more. I, on the other hand, do need more. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and follow me on Twitch for streams, twitch.tv/Bengal. I keep getting people to come in. I didn't know you streamed. Open your ears. Or, hey, come on in. It's a lot of fun. Come, swing on by. I definitely want to extend Drew Phillips as well. He's getting a little bit expensive, but he's only 25 years old, up to an 84 overall, star dev. Clearly developing into one of the best slot corners in the NFL. I'd want him back on a 5-year deal. I'd like to save a little bit of money if I can. You know, every dollar counts, and Drew Phillips is back. Javon Holland is 27 years old, and the reason why I point that out is that's kind of like the age of regression in Madden, or we're getting to that point. If I am to re-sign Javon Holland, I would probably do so in the offseason, where he might get a little bit more affordable if that overall comes down at all. I do want him to return, but I don't know that I want a 3-year contract worth more than $10 million per year. That's something we're going to have to think about a little bit more. Tyler Nubin, it's crazy that he is a year different with Javon Holland, considering how long Holland has been a pro compared to Nubin at this point. Nubin, I would say, yeah, 3-year deal, $7 million per year. I'm actually okay with that. It's not a position that we can't upgrade, but he's definitely good enough to keep. Deonte Banks, very affordable, like pretty good, young enough. Deonte Banks returns on a 4-year deal. Tyrone Tracy's where things start to get difficult, truly, because he's 27 years old. He is an 86 overall, which is good. It's not great. I would do a 2-year deal maybe. He doesn't really want to be here, so I'd have to move up the money quite a bit. We'll have to see on that one. We may end up trading for a running back right now. I guess that's a possibility. I love Tyrone Tracy, but I just don't think he's ever going to get to where we need him to be. It might be a tag and trade type of spot. And I would say with how easy it is to find offensive linemen in the draft this year, maybe Tevin Jenkins isn't the biggest need. We have Evan Neal, right? Jenkins, though, not that expensive, but he's not going to want to sign this. And yeah, Paulson Adebo, I wouldn't really be interested in more than a 1-year deal. He might be leaving. Playoff time. We will be a playoff team. Giants and Cardinals in the wild card. Let's check out our season stats, as our offense was much better this year. Dart threw for close to 4,400 yards, 34 touchdowns to only 13 interceptions this time. Very, very good year for Jackson Dart as he continues to trend up, playing up to a 90 overall. Throw power has marginally increased, but deep accuracy really is one thing that has largely remained unchanged, unfortunately. That may just be an element of his game that never improves, but if you look at his calling card at Ole Miss, it's just throwing the ball deep a lot. Tyrone Tracy had his best year, but it's still not especially good at just 4 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns, just under 900 yards, as Malik Neighbors had a great year. He goes for over 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 9 for Martin Gonzalez. Great rookie year. Jalen Davenport was a solid contributor, as was Luis Magana. Great numbers there for the tight end that we traded a first-round pick to acquire. It's a lot to give up for a 78 overall tight end, but it looks like we made the right move. He's playing up to an 89. He's a true 85 overall vertical threat and a big, big weapon in this offense. Gotta love that. Defensively, defense is continuing to do what they do, but maybe even at a higher level. 110 tackles for Quan Stark led the team, but 17 TFLs for Carter, 10 for Lawrence, 9 for Burns and Russell. If you look at the sacks, we had 3 different players with 15 or more sacks. Abdul Carter and Burns tied for the lead. Lawrence had 15 from a defensive tackle spot, from an interior defensive line alignment, depending on where he moved around. 15 sacks is insane. 3 for Russell, 4 for McFadden. Interceptions, 3 for Javon Holland led the way. Nobody else had more than 1. But this was a great performance, a great year 3, and we are primed, hopefully, for a deep playoff run, starting with the Arizona Cardinals in the wild card. Unfortunately, we're on the road. This may end up going either way. I'm not going to jump in just yet, but I will for this one. We beat the Cardinals 17-11, and it's the Philadelphia Eagles here in the divisional. We're going on the road, taking on our division foe. This could be an interesting one. Facing Saquon Barkley, the former Giant. It's 288 overall teams. We're going to find out who's better. Oh, the rain's coming down here, and rain is a big new element. Not even just rain, but the weather in general is a pretty big new change to Madden 26, especially the snow games. It is tough to play in blizzard conditions. It's tough to play in the rain. We're going to see how we can do. I mean, you'd figure the Eagles would have a slight advantage due to their incredible offensive line and rushing attack, but we go up 7-0 early. Eagles answer with now 17 unanswered as we are into the third quarter. Let's see if we can get a possession here. Keep the Eagles off the board. It's 24-7. It's 24 straight for Philadelphia, as we can barely even see, 15, 20 yards in front of us. We need a touchdown bad. End of the third quarter. We need points. That's a good route. Catch made by Davenport. That's a first down. Dart has been intercepted in this game. Not exactly having an incredible second playoff game. Of course, did win the wild card over Arizona. And we'll absolutely take that. Dart now over 100. We don't need all the yards back at once, all the points back at once. If we just have a good drive and just have something to build off of, that would be great. We had a receiver that actually slipped there as we'll check it down to Tyrone Tracy. I mean, the offense is definitely cooking right now. I feel like we're making all the right decisions until that one. I thought Tyrone Tracy was going to end up running right by him, but nope. Julian Blackmon, new Philadelphia Eagle, got right in the way and took it away. I'll tell you, I am absolutely shocked this was a pick, but would it be a video of mine without one? I thought we were just going to throw out to the open space, obviously. I really can't believe this got intercepted. I guess we are throwing essentially a jump ball to a running back, but that was not the intention. And this one might be over. It was probably over anyways, but it's looking especially bad right now. And it's over. Eagles get the win. We just weren't ready quite yet. And that's okay, because we're going to build off of this. Big game for Jalen Hurts, almost 150 yards. I think it might have been a career high. I mean, it was a very good year. 11-6 as former Giant Leonard Williams retires. And you can see the season recap has the Eagles winning another Super Bowl. Miles Weary did win Offensive Rookie of the Year with the Saints. Aiden Hutchinson with the Steelers wins Defensive Player of the Year. Oh my goodness. Ryan Daboll, Coach of the Year. Mahomes, Offensive Player of the Year and MVP. But a really good building year. And now as we get into the re-signed players portion, you're going to see that some of these overalls have changed. Because regression has definitely hit some of these guys. I mean, there's no question we're picking up the 5th year on Abdul Carter. Give us a little bit more time to extend him. I want Dexter Lawrence back in the worst way. Holland is holding his overall, as is Adebo. I'm going to pick up the 5th year on Jackson Dart as well. That's going to get really expensive. Man, we're in a bit of a spot here. We have money. $113 million in remaining cap. And that's what you get when you pay a rookie quarterback, or you don't pay an actual quarterback. You just rock with the rookie on the rookie contract. You can build up an entire team around them up until the point where you have to pay them. I want Dexter Lawrence back. I think I can get him if I just up the money a little bit. Remember, I took it down trying to get value. I'm going to offer this. If he declines, it's a franchise tag. But Dexter Lawrence is back. We've got him until his mid-30s. But I think based on how good he is right now, he's someone that's going to age gracefully. Even if he becomes Vince Wilfork, you'll take that, right? Even if he loses some of that pass rush ability. Holland, I'm thinking a 2-year deal. I can up the money a little bit. I don't think he's going to accept this. He's going to test free agency. We could consider using our franchise tag, but the franchise tag at safety is a lot more expensive than it used to be. Be $21 million for this year. Now, if we have the cap room, I don't really mind doing that, but I prefer not to. We'd have a little bit more flexibility on the trade market and through free agency. A Debo back for a year? Nope. Franchise tag cost there is closer to $26 million. Tracy's not that expensive, but again, I don't really want to do a multi-year deal. But he's back for 2. That's the bottom end of a multi-year deal. It's $8 million per year. That really isn't awful. Tevin Jenkins, maybe I can offer a little bit more. He's not going to sign back. I think we're okay on that one. And then, of course, no interest in bringing back Darius Slayton. We don't really need Theo Johnson or Dane Belton at this point. I'm going to tag Holland. It's $21 million to do so. That means we let Jenkins and Adebo walk. We're down to $50 million in available salary cap, which is still pretty good. It's a lot of money to make something happen. We could sign either one of the best players in free agency or get maybe a couple players to help out the team. But the team right now is really more about development than anything else. As Davenport and Neighbors holding that superstar dev. I'm surprised Dart has not at least improved to star at this point. A little bit disappointing there. I feel like the O-line's good enough where we don't need to go out and upgrade, but we could if we wanted to. That's a possibility, right? And then defensively, we have Ruiz and Russell with star dev, Baldwin with star dev. We could bring in another corner. We could try to upgrade at safety long term. It's just really going to depend on what's available in free agency. I like where linebacker is, but again, it's going to depend on what's actually here. TJ Watt, I don't have a lot of interest in, to be honest. But Cooper DeJean, I absolutely do. I know he's a corner and not a safety, as Gervon Dexter is also in free agency. But DeJean, I think, could play either corner or safety for us. He's only 25 years old. He likes the idea of being a Giant. I'm sure he does. Smart man. Let's go ahead and offer him a contract. It would be a big-time deal. There are a lot of teams that want him. Could bring Jabril Peppers back. Could bring Texas legend Jonathan Brooks into the mix. I'm a big Jonathan Brooks guy. Injuries have really gotten the best of him so far, but he's significantly younger than Tyrone Tracy and about the same overall, and that does matter. Before offering Jonathan Brooks, though, because I would have to pay him a lot, but also horns up, I do want to check out what running back looks like, as there is a round one talent, the 5'7", 210-pound Elijah Khan, pronouncing like AJ Khan, if you guys remember him, the guard for the Jaguars out of South Carolina, I believe. Really good looking back. Not a top 5 talent, but sure looks like it. D-tackle is a top 5 talent. Looks to be a really, really good pass rusher. We're not going to be in play for him. If we're going to take a corner, Deshaun Wofford could be the move. Another LSU guy. The Giants have actually had a pretty great corner out of LSU back in the day. Maybe not great, but he was a really solid player. Helped the Giants win a Super Bowl in a big way. Corey Webster, only 20 years old as well. That might be my target, although there's a 6'4" corner. Patrick Cox out of Clemson. We don't pick until number 26. If we wanted the corner, at least the one I talked about, Patrick Cox would be at 14. Wofford would be at 11. We'd have to move. Well, we did sign Jonathan Brooks. 5-year deal for the running back. He's making a lot of money, but I think it will be a good long-term play for us. Unfortunately, DeJean is a Raider. TJ Watt to Denver, Zach Bond to Buffalo. So the Eagles did get a lot worse here. Another Longhorn legend, Byron Murphy. People always ask me why I'm a Longhorn fan and a Giants fan. It's a weird combination, Texas and New Jersey. But born in New Jersey to parents that did not go to a big school. And I have a ton of family that live in Texas that went to Texas. My uncle's been a season ticket holder since the early 70s. And they just made sure I was a Texas fan from a really young age. So, you know, you kind of go with what you know. I'm not going to be a Texas fan for 20 years and then just decide to change, right? So, that is why I'm a Texas fan. Family ties. And there have been a lot of downs over the years, no question, but there have definitely been some ups too. And they're on a rise right now. They're producing NFL talent again, and I'm glad to bring someone in running back Jonathan Brooks. Paulson Adebo is still available. Max Melton could be a better play. Bring him back to New Jersey. But if I'm going to draft a corner, it's not really a top need. I love Jaden Hicks. It's a shame he's such a low overall with normal dev. I think Jaden Hicks is going to end up being one of the better safeties in the division. No question. I could get a little bit crazier than that, but he was like a 5th round pick, right? 4th round pick maybe, actually. I really, really liked his tape at Washington State. Thought he should have gone a lot higher. And he didn't. But he's looked good for the Chiefs in the limited action we've seen so far. I think I'm probably about done in free agency. Just need to shore up kicker, punter, make sure we're in the right spot there, which I think we are. Maybe a punter over Gillen. No, that's right, we have Behringer, so yeah, that's not even a need. We just overall look really, really solid. We've seen a lot of great development. Like, the development has been the most insane part right now. There's so many players who are rising up to be the best in the league at their positions. This is the newest New York Giant, Jonathan Brooks. Hook 'em horns. It's been a while since I got the horns up in a Madden video. Overall, well-rounded, looking good. Injury rating's not great, as is to be expected, but He could have a big year for us when he gets up to like a 90 overall. Not right now. So the Patriots are on the clock at number 11. Wofford is still on the board. That's probably who I would target here. He is one of the few round 1 talents we know about. There are a few more, a couple more at defensive tackle. I just don't think we need a receiver. I feel like receiver's pretty solid. I think adding another defensive back, that's not a bad idea. So I am going to try and move up for this pick. I'm not going to trade the world to get it, but I think it would be an upgrade overall for a defense that's already good. They have a need at defensive tackle. We have so much talent at defensive tackle. And we could very easily even replace these guys in the draft this year. So one of these guys is going to go. Dylan Jones is obviously the worst of the bunch, but for that reason, he's going to have the lowest value. Okay, this is the trade. Going to be Jones and unfortunately Tyrone Tracy. We just signed his replacement, so he was expendable, and he is not locked down long term. He's 28 years old at running back. This is his peak value. Maybe it was even last year. We're trading our first round pick, a third in 2030, and a fifth this year to move all the way up to 11 for a corner that maybe we don't desperately need, but he's only 20 years old, and I think he's going to give us the flexibility to potentially move somebody back to safety if we want to do that. He does everything well. His zone cover ability, maybe he's not good enough to move him back to safety, but he does everything so well. He's only 20 years old, and he is the number 7 ranked player in the draft. Speed, speed, speed. Good football IQ, sticky man, cover corner. Does have hidden dev, 95 speed, 96 change of direction, 92 acceleration. We're going to find a spot for him. We have 2 picks at the end of the second round. I'm going to take a tight end here. Artavis Beard, 6'4", 240 out of Arkansas. Does everything well. We just lost, Theo, so time to bring in the Beard. Ranked number 33 overall, took him at 58. He's actually very clean shaven. And it says receiver speed at tight end. I don't know that I would agree with that sentiment. Does have 91 acceleration though, but a good second tight end to add to the group. It's already a position that's pretty good for us, obviously. We're not going to go out and get a starter with that pick, and I'm totally fine with that. I think it's a good overall value for us, and if we wanted to go out and grab another defensive tackle, we can totally do that. There's a round 1 talent here in Armand Bailey, another nose tackle archetype. That's going to be clearly pretty common and pretty good here in Madden 26. Just take the best player available. That's what Armand Bailey is. Top 20 player in the draft. We got him at 64. I can't really be mad about that. Jamie Jenkins doesn't look that bad. Another day 3 projected pick, but is more depth at linebacker. We could always use that. He's ranked number 150. We took him at 122. He's got normal dev, fairly well-rounded, but we're seeing what the run stopper archetype looks like at outside linebacker. It's not amazing, but they're very good at stopping the run. Decent athleticism, just got to upgrade the pass coverage, which is probably easier said than done. Draft recap. Deshaun Wofford is a 79 overall, 74 for Beard, 76 for Armand Bailey. The rest were not especially good. And we'll see the overall strength of the class here. 80 overall at the top in Andy Phillips. 82 overall for Sergio Wilbur. Top-rated corner in the draft, but he went at number 3, not number 11. So they were just always going to get him. Very, very good at everything. Good athlete as well. So very nice pickup there by Jacksonville. And who else here? 81 overall tight end DJ Hutchinson of the Bengals. They love taking first-round tight ends. Jermaine Gresham, Tyler Eifert, DJ Hutchinson now. They took first-round tight ends within 3 years apart. I think Gresham, and then 3 years later, Eifert. I looked into this the other day. That's how much I've got nothing going on. But Elijah Khan, 79 overall, looks quite good. I mean, Wofford is right in that top group, tied for a top 5 overall in the class. There wasn't really a ton of value. Like, if we went down the board at safety, we could have found somebody pretty good. But there wasn't, you know, like, okay, this 3rd round pick is the best player in the draft. But definitely some good players just scattered throughout the class, which is what ends up happening in real life. I think the classes look better this year compared to last year and years prior. There's a lot more balance. There's a lot more incentive to scouting everybody if you can. This will be the team for season number 4. Really like what we're working with. And Jackson Dart has developed a lot better than I thought he would have. He's up to an 89 overall. So this proves that if you want to play a quarterback, you don't really even need quick, or I guess it's called star development now. I just reversed time like 6 years. Star development or superstar. If they just accumulate stats, they'll get an increase in overall. It's been normal dev for Jackson Dart the entire time, but he's a 25-year-old 89 overall quarterback. That's great. He's looking very, very good. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Malik Neighbors isn't a higher overall at this point. I get that he's a 93. That's very good. But I think, you know, considering where he started, that he may be even higher to this point. And honestly, 92 acceleration seems a little bit low. His calling card is how explosive and twitchy of an athlete he is. 92 acceleration feels like a tad low, especially considering he's got 96 speed. So, that's interesting. And then defensively, like Brian Burns is an 87. That's great. Dexter Lawrence is a 99. But Abdul Carter is up to a 92 overall, and that's only going to continue to go up. 93 power moves, 96 finesse moves, 92 block shed, speed and acceleration have not changed, but everything else is so much better. He is so insane. We drafted a great corner as well, not Prince Amukamara, but Prince as a last name, or the cornerback formerly known as Prince, and of course, Clarence Prince, 23 years old, up to an 87 overall. Speed's incredible, man in zone, approaching 90 overall. I think this team has what it takes to do really big things in this 2028 season. I'm excited to see what they can do. So we are 2-4 at the midseason mark. Our offense is about average. Our defense is about average. We're just not winning games right now, but I don't think that means we're not going to be a playoff team. It looks that way after a 2-4 start, but you can lose 5 or 6 games and still be a playoff team very easily, right? So, just got a small margin for error down the stretch, but it's not the worst. Players with expiring contracts: Malik Neighbors, Brian Burns, Javon Holland. A lot of really, really good players in here. Well, I guess maybe just the 3. Definitely want them all back. I think we've got the money to get it done. Neighbors is incredibly expensive, as is to be expected. Burns is not going to be especially cheap either. $30 million per year. You know, the interesting thing about Brian Burns here is, has he progressed at all? I get that he's 30 now, but I feel like he's been an 87 overall. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4 now. I don't know that he's gone up or down even 1 overall point. He's just holding strong and steady at an 87. Gonna offer this to Malik Neighbors. It's less money than he wants per year. Let me give him an extra year. And Malik Neighbors is back. Brian Burns is going to eat into basically all of our remaining salary, or cap room. I just don't know that I can afford to do this. I mean, I'll take the money down, and maybe I'll give him an extra year. But even approaching 30 mil, I feel like is kind of crazy. I can't give you like 32 million a year. I just can't do it. Javon Holland for 1 more year? Nope. I'm trying to think how we could improve this team at the deadline. The only thing I could really think of is trying to upgrade on the offensive line somewhere on that right side. That would be the only thing. I mean, I'm sure we can get something done. Would it really be a true improvement that changes the course of the season? I don't know. The Seahawks having a superstar guard is kind of funny. TJ Pierman Can we give you a D tackle for TJ Pearman? It would have to be with other things involved. We have 2 second-round picks. I'd be comfortable moving one of those. It would take probably a little bit more, like a 5. It may have to be a 4. And actually, a 4 may not even be enough. I'm not sure the Seahawks ends up being the best pairing here. I wish Baldwin had just a little bit more value. Maybe something here from Pittsburgh, but probably not. What's Irons up to overall-wise? A 92 as superstar dev? Yeah, it's pretty good. Seahawks actually have a lot more interest in Salvador Ruiz, who's a little bit better, even if he's a year older. I'm okay moving him. And then maybe a 5 is actually enough to get this done. And it is. TJ Pearman, welcome to the team. It's an upgrade overall at right guard. We had John Runyon sliding over and playing there. We had Sheriff for depth. But now we have what we know is a superstar overall, or superstar dev trait, right guard in TJ Pearman. So kind of a nice move for us here at the deadline. Kind of a crazy trade for Seattle to make, but we know John Schneider, he doesn't value these guards. He'll take whatever he can get. No, we just sucked this year. 6-11. Number 28 scoring offense. Number 19 scoring defense. I don't really know what went wrong. Jackson Dart had a pretty good year. I can't really be mad about anything I'm seeing there. Rushing, Jonathan Brooks was an upgrade overall. 4.4 yards per carry is the highest we've seen so far. Only 4 touchdowns. We had basically no rushing touchdowns. That's kind of crazy. Martin Gonzalez had a fantastic year. 15 touchdowns. Neighbors kind of took a back seat in terms of production. Jalen Davenport led the team in catches. Luis Magana was still quite good. And then defensively, the pass rush was still crazy. Abdul Carter put up 17 sacks, 12.5 for Burns, 12 for Lawrence. A lot of TFLs still. More interceptions than we're used to seeing. Quan Stark is stepping up. I'm not really sure what's going on with this team right now. 90 overall team with 6 wins. Not where we want to be as the Broncos beat the Bears in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow gets an MVP. Bo Nix gets a Super Bowl MVP. And Aiden Hutchinson and the Steelers continue to dominate defensively. We need to score more points. At 31 years old, somehow Brian Burns has finally gone up in overall. So this might be a tag situation. I'm not sure that I would end up trading him. But I definitely don't want to give him like $35 million per year for multiple years. I could do it for a year. We have plenty of cap room. But Brian Burns is actually going to sign that. So that's a little bit of a deal for us, I suppose. Javon Holland, I think we let walk. We have good depth at DB. We could potentially move a cornerback or draft one or get another safety unless Holland is going to take, you know, something in the $13 million a year range. I would do that. He's going to test free agency, and that's fine. I don't think that's a no-brainer for us. We'll pick up the 5th year on Clarence Prince. We will have Dart and Carter coming up. Those are going to be incredibly expensive. And then if we were to keep Cam Scattaboo, it would really purely be on a vibes basis. Scattaboo's back for about $3 million a year over 2. That's what I can do right now. In free agency, we have a number of players that do kind of match up with where we have needs and they want to be here. Landon Dickerson would be an interesting one. I don't really want Jordan Love based on having Dart right now, who is in the game better. I don't want Donovan Ezaraku. We just don't need anything off the edge. Spencer Brown would be a nice choice for us. But the thing is, as I said before, we look really good right now. Guard is good. Center is good. Left tackle is good. We could upgrade Evan Neal. Receiver is really good. Granted, some of these guys are playing up overall-wise. Running back's going to be very good. And then defensively, linebacker is good. We just need an upgrade at safety. And I think based on his skill set, Drew Phillips is somebody that can move back to safety. And I think that would be a pretty good fit for us. Slot corner to safety is not the strangest move of all time. I think that could be a fairly good fit for him. If there's not a safety that, profiles to just slide right in there, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. And then we could consider drafting a corner to replace him or drafting a safety, obviously, if one is available. But I don't really want to bring back Javon Holland for the price. Holland is going to New England. That just kind of feels right for him in a way I can't fully explain. This is future top 5 pick Hunter Bryan out of Notre Dame. Why? That's an interesting one. Quarterback M. Cunningham out of Louisville. Where have I seen this before? No, it's not Malik Cunningham. It's Montel. He's got elite strength. And he can throw a deep ball. I'll tell you that. I don't know what we would draft here. Simply have no idea. Ooh, Chris Webber. Not the basketball player. Chris Webber looks pretty good. We might be moving up for the Tennessee DB. Well, actually, are we even going to be moving up? We're just here. I mean, there are so many quarterbacks here. Oh my goodness, there are about 10 quarterbacks. So to prep you for the draft, we do have the 6th overall pick. I'll tell you who we're not taking, by the way, is this guy. There's literally no chance. But in my travels so far, I believe I have seen this archetype. Chad Harrison is a top 5 talent, strong safety. Has A hit power, A tackle. My initial thought, based on what I've seen so far in the game, and I did do a video drafting until I found a generational player, and then we continue to go on. That video is either on the channel already or about to be, so make sure to check that out. I think he's going to have 99 hit power and be one of the slowest defensive backs you'll ever find. I'm going to guess he probably has 84 to 86 speed and 99 hit power. And he's going to be like an 85 overall. We're going to be drafting Chad Harrison, and I think I'm going to be pretty accurate with that guess. Now, if you were actually playing the games, would you prefer Chris Webber, who will be a worse overall, but likely better because he runs a 4.4, but he's not a top 5 talent? I think the difference in overall between Webber and Chad Harrison will be astounding. Here's what I'm likely to do. What if I just got both? ¿Por qué no los dos? What if I just got both of them? I want Bofa, the safeties. Bring me back to Lions franchise when I was in my prime. Let me just get all of the safeties. Let's see what this looks like. Also, to this point, I think it's pretty clear that the Chiefs' offensive playbook has been heavily nerfed. Heavily. The Falcons, I would say, has been buffed in a big way. The fact that the Bears are at 31 is so interesting as well. But there is talent there, no question. Ooh, Hunter Bryan goes at 4. Oh no, we got sniped. It's exactly who I would have drafted. The running back that looks 50 years old. Like, this Chiefs team is picking top 5. How is that even possible? I don't know. So it took a lot, but this is the trade we're making. It's a 2030 and 2031 first round pick. 2029 and 2023 or 2031 second rounder. So 2 firsts, 2 seconds. I didn't like the way I phrased that. For number 5 overall, we get 5 and 6 in the draft, and we're going to use that on back-to-back safeties. The first one will be the worst of the 2, but still, he looks great. A hit power, A tackle, B zone coverage, only 21 years old. Ran in the 4.4s. Great time for a safety. A pursuit, A tackle, A catching, A awareness. Really good player. But not as good as what is surely to be an 85 speed, 99 hit power safety. He is the number 8 player in the class. Highlight reel hitter. He's got 91 speed, 87 acceleration, normal development. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking this next one will be the best player in the draft. That's my initial thought. The fact that he's a top 5 talent with ridiculously bad speed, I've seen this archetype. Maybe even a lot. 4.64 in the 40. He should be playing linebacker, but he's 207 pounds at 5'11". so he's not going to be a linebacker. His cover skills are just okay, but he's going to have 99 hit power, I would say. He's going to be at least an 84 overall would be my guess, which you wouldn't know from looking at him, and you wouldn't want to have him in a franchise probably, but all that to say Chad Harrison is the pick. He is the #1 overall player in the class. He looks like he's ready for his first communion. Shout out to him. Immediate starter, able to quickly diagnose plays, brings the thunder. He does have 87 speed. Okay, he might be able to fly. I disrespected him. Oh my goodness. Not 84. Plus 3 to 84, the initial guess. He will have 99 hit power. He will be a generational player, in a way. Back-to-back strong safeties. I'm back. I'm back in my element, and we don't pick for a while. And because there are so many first-round projected quarterbacks, there are still so many first-round projected quarterbacks still available. And we've kind of seen this happen before in the Malik Willis draft. Something similar happened, and I mean, these guys don't look absolutely awful. They don't look good. But, I mean, Joey Wheeler could be a viable backup. We can find some value with massive nose tackles that are projected to go day 3. 356 pounds, 334, and 354. The nose tackle archetype is a strong one. But, I mean, we have a lot at defensive tackle. The only reason I keep drafting a lot of D tackles is because we know about them with our national scout. And Marquise Bates is interesting. A press, B zone coverage, man coverage is awful. Real press bail type of guy. He's got some interesting skills. D play rec, I don't think he's going to be particularly great, but he's got an interesting skill set, if nothing else. All right, let's see if I'm right. I have a pretty good feeling about it. And Chris Webber is an 80, to be fair. That's the 7th rated player in the draft. It's an 80 overall. Does have normal dev. Looks great. 91 speed, 80 zone, 89 hit power. You'd be thrilled with this draft pick, other than normal dev is not especially exciting. But as predicted, Chad Harrison is a generational player. 85 overall. He's got a little bit better speed than I was expecting, to be fair. 87. 82 zone, 85 tackle, 89 pursuit, and 99 hit power. I will say, I think the rest of the class is going to be great, though. But Chad Harrison is surely going to be a superstar X-Factor, generational player. The rest of the class was not good for us. But let's see the rest of the class in the NFL here. Oh no, a 69 overall quarterback in the top 10. The Colts have done it again. 84 overall for Jaron Harris at a TCU. I'm telling you, dude, offensive linemen are juiced this year. And this is sometimes what you have happen. This is like a Creed Humphrey type of situation. What development trait is Jaron Harris going to have? He's an 84 overall rookie, straight out of the draft. Has superstar. Now, it's been noted in the past that offensive linemen can't get X-Factor development trait, but I feel like I've seen it, which is why I'm a little bit hesitant to that idea. But this draft class was unreal. Tomas Felix is an 81 overall. There were multiple 81 overall tight ends, Luis Estrada and Cooper Cantrell. Ben Esparza was an 81 overall that lasted until the second round. This draft class was absolutely juiced. And there's nothing surprising about this. It's not like, oh, you know, he can do this, but he's not a great athlete. Or he's a really good athlete, but you're waiting on the skills to develop. He's just really good at everything. Ben Esparza, what a player there for Cleveland. They got their QB of the future, and now they have found a big-time receiving threat. There's another great safety, 81 overall, Brandon Chapman. Oh my goodness. This class was the strongest I've seen so far, and I didn't change the settings or anything. This is just a really, really strong draft class. This is like your 2014 NFL draft, where you had, you know, Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald and Odell Beckham Jr. and Mike Evans. And, I mean, the list goes on and on. 2014 was astounding. In 2007, with, Adrian Peterson and Patrick Willis. Marshawn Lynch was in there, although he didn't find it until a little bit later. Who else was big in 2007? Marshall Yanda all the way down the board. I'm missing somebody huge. It was in my mind, and then it just went away. Calvin Johnson. Calvin at 2. Adrian Peterson. I mean, there were so many great ones in that draft. Darrelle Revis was 07. I mean, I think Eric Weddle maybe as well. The list just goes on and on and on. And I think that was one of those types of draft classes that was just so astounding. I mean, I know the draft classes are very different in 26 compared to 25, but the amount of 80 overall players that I just saw is simply unbelievable, as Malik Neighbors has lost superstar development. But Cam Scadaboo still has star. Why? How does Neighbors lose superstar? That is crazy. But Harrison's ready to start over Nubin. I guess Nubin goes over to free safety. We could start the rookie. He's got normal dev, but I think I prefer his skill set and chance to develop. I'm actually going to move him over. And of course, by rookie, I do mean Chris Webber. I get that we have 2 rookie strong safeties, but Chris Webber is going to start at free safety for us. I just think he's got the best chance to develop compared to Tyler Nubin, who's +2 overall points right now with a better dev trait, but is significantly older, and Webber should be a significantly better athlete. This is how I find out Micah McFadden has been upgraded to Superstar X Factor. What am I even seeing here? This will be the team. Hopefully a much better season. I'm going to try Falcons playbook. Playbooks are just super important to simulation success. And remember, we do have Superstar X Factor Micah McFadden. He'll be in at sub linebacker, of course, so he still will be playing quite a lot. Tyler Nubin's an interesting option, but it's going to be Stark and Micah McFadden. We're going to start the safeties. The rookie safeties are going to get some run here. Harrison will likely end up being a Superstar X Factor player. I'd be absolutely blown away if he was not an X Factor, coming out at 85 overall. He is the slow 99 hit power archetype, but 87 speed really isn't all that bad, given where it could be. I've seen that archetype with 84 and 85 speed. 87 is at least a little bit better. Mid-season market could be going worse. We are 4-3. Our offense and defense really are just a little bit lackluster to this point, unfortunately. How does this keep happening? We are one of the best teams in the league and also one of the worst teams in the league. We just have games where we can't score. Not that 17 in a game is nothing, but if you average 17 points per game over a season, you will be highly likely the lowest scoring offense in football. There are teams that have gone under that in recent history, but it's not good. Now, at first glance, a lot of the teams that we play over the course of the rest of the season are beatable. I mean, I don't know what to even think about the Chiefs anymore. They were picking top 5 last year's draft. We've beaten the Eagles before, but they're tough. But I mean, Cardinals, Dolphins. I feel like there's some teams that we can beat here. Just so playbook dependent. And this is where things get really, really bad financially. We do have money. Does Abdul Carter not know his worth? He's asking for $20 million a year. Oh, that is extremely low for Abdul Carter. I'll give you a little bit more to guarantee that this is a sign right away. This is a steal for Carter. Oh, that is a bad signing. Let me throw a little baseball reference in here. I do have a baseball channel, Bengal Plays. Link is always down in the description. That's Ronald Acuna signing the deal that he did. That is really bad value. You do get long-term security, but he wasn't even asking for long-term security. I gave him that to lock in that rate. Really, really bad job from his virtual agent. Jalen Davenport, I probably would like to keep as well. He's back on a 5-year deal. McFadden, I know his dev trait I might trade him right now. I definitely want to keep Quan Stark, Miles Ward. I mean, we just did so well in that first draft. This is where a lot of our money is going to go. Jackson Dart is going to cost over $50 million a year. How are we going to pay the rest of the team if we do that? But just like the San Francisco 49ers, what choice do we have? Miles Ward is back. Let's see about trading Micah McFadden. Cheaper and maybe better long-term. That X-Factor dev trait, we need to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Trading Micah McFadden and a second in 2032. That's how deep we are at this point, that we can trade 2032 picks. I mean, it's just, we should be a little bit better than we are. This is a deadline move. We're freeing up space because we were not going to bring back Micah McFadden anyway. This is an upgrade. Henley is a scheme fit, which is nice. And he is an overall upgrade, which is also nice. He's only 22 years old. He can cover. He can run. It's a nice pickup for us. Harrison, of course, does have superstar X Factor. He was always going to. And is he always going to be slow? Probably. But he's so technically and fundamentally sound. One of those, like, you know, guys you'd let your daughter date, right? First guy in, last guy out, bring the lunch pail to work. Hard-nosed, gritty, tough. That's Chad Harrison. And that's the type of guy you want on your team. Quan Stark is getting pretty expensive. He's going to be on Abdul Carter money. I would like him back, but that's really, really expensive. I don't know that we're going to be able to bring back Luis Magana. I mean, we kind of went for it this year, right? Andrew Thomas is here. Evan Neal. I mean, the team is falling apart. We can, for sure, bring everybody back if we don't bring back the quarterback, but I don't really think we have a choice. You can't just let your 26-year-old 91 overall quarterback walk. You can't do it. So I don't even know if he's going to want to sign this. He doesn't even want to be here for $50+ million a year. I have to look elsewhere. Now, I don't know what we would do about quarterback. I have no idea. I don't think Jackson Dart is in the future of this team anymore. We should be able to bring back Geraldo. The remaining cap is being factored in with the Jackson Dart move, but we didn't accept that, so don't take it against my cap. He is not signed back with us yet, and he's not going to, probably. Could lose both of our tackles. We could lose almost all of our offensive line, including the extension of the O-line and the tight end. If we're going to win it, this is the year. What can we do to push our chips to the center of the table, go all in, and upgrade at defensive tackle maybe? 4-star. I kind of like the safeties. I don't know. So we did end up making the playoffs, 12-5, despite back-to-back losses to end the year. The Lions went 11-6. We are in the wild card. Man, it would be nice to win a division for once. That would be nice. Jackson Dart had a heck of a year, though. Is Atlanta Falcons playbook the move? 4,000 yards passing, 31 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions on the season. Jonathan Brooks ran the ball extremely well, 5.5 per carry, 1,348 yards, 9 touchdowns. What is the difference? You may be wondering, why is he good all of a sudden? Well, he's a 90 overall, playing up to a 94. That's when running backs are allowed to be good in Madden Sim, in my experience. Around that 90 overall, maybe 88, 89 threshold. Jackson Dart had 8 touchdowns. And then receiving, very interesting numbers. Martin Gonzalez had the most yards, 8 touchdowns. Neighbors had the most touchdowns, 943 yards. Magana had the most catches, also 8 touchdowns with Gonzalez. I think I moved Neighbors to the slot, but I don't know if that's even good in Atlanta playbook. A lot of tackles for Quan Stark, as always. 13 for loss for Carter. I stuck in Giants playbook because the pressure we're generating is so good. Carter with 15 sacks, 13.5 for Burns, 10.5 for Lawrence, 5 for new New York Giant Matthew Henley acquired via trade, we didn't get many interceptions, as is the trend. Would I rather force more turnovers, or at least more interceptions, or would I rather the sack production? I don't know. But look at this start to Abdul Carter's career. The fewest amount of sacks he's had in a year was 11 in his second year. That's crazy. What a player he's been for us so far. Gotta love it. And hopefully we have what it takes to make a playoff run. As I've mentioned, this year kind of has to be the year. The team is on the verge of falling apart. Now, we can get a rookie quarterback in there, and we can keep the team together. So it would be every piece you're familiar with, but a rookie QB. Or we keep Dart and try to replace everybody else. In real life, the obvious strategy would be keep the quarterback, find replacements elsewhere. But, you know, here in the game, I don't think it's as difficult to find quarterback as it is in real life. Think about how many actual good quarterbacks there are in the league. Like, if I was being really generous, it's a cool intro, I guess. If I was being really generous, I say there are 15 good quarterbacks. But the fall off from the top 3 to 5 is insane. And then the fall off from like the top 10-ish is insane. So the truly not upgradable quarterbacks in the league, there's probably like 8, which sounds insane, but you're watching this just based on probability are probably a fan of a team that could easily upgrade at quarterback, or maybe not easily, but like could use an upgrade at quarterback. And then half of you that applies to don't think you need an upgrade, but you do, because insert X quarterback. I'm not going to pick a name like Jalen or it doesn't matter, but maybe whoever the quarterback is maybe isn't as good as you think, and they could be propped up by their team or their fantasy numbers with rushing touchdowns. I don't know. Let's just pick it. Like maybe a journeyman quarterback that nobody seems to value, that the fantasy football community still does for whatever reason, even though it didn't work out in Chicago. Or, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just coming up with, random names and places. Nothing to do with reality. We're up 7-3 anyways. 14, 21-10, 21-18. Okay, this game is... a lot is happening very, very quickly. Chuck Ainsworth in at quarterback. And maybe some of what I was talking about could even apply to this Lions team. I don't know. That would be a crazy thought. I don't even know if I... Sometimes I just say things to upset you, and because that makes me laugh. I don't necessarily have to believe it. And I know with my delivery and what I say and the way I act on Twitter, it's tough to know when I'm giving a genuine take versus not, as that wasn't a decision. Jackson Dart has thrown 3 touchdowns in this one. Here's what we need to do, though. 1, not just focus in on Malik Neighbors and throw it no matter what. That would be a good start. But 2, have this be the final possession of the game. Good route. Wide open is Davenport. Dart goes over something. 200 yards passing? I forgot. With a dart over the middle. If Jackson Dart actually becomes good, there's a 100% chance. Why is it telling me what I'm doing on the screen? I hate when you first get the game, you got to make those changes. The visual feedback. But if Jackson Dart actually becomes good, there's a 100% chance I will be in all caps tweeting Dart after every even half decent throw. Or even bad ones, ironically. Those are always fun. Okay. I mean, we're managing the clock perfectly right now. Detroit could start calling timeouts. We cannot get sacked. Cannot get sacked there. That is a potential game-ending play. Just nothing on the mesh looked open. I tried to escape, make a play that way. And I really hate this route combo for actually picking up the first down and nothing more. Our best chance is just Malik Neighbors on the streak. Davenport, I guess we're playing for 4th and short. This is an awful spot. We're going to Davenport. He makes the catch. And man, let me tell you, did that ball ever float up in the air for about an hour? 89 throw power. Not great. What a catch by Davenport to keep us in the game, though. He does have really, really high spectacular catch. And it is on sim, as you can see in the top right. Big 4th down. Gotta have it. Going to Davenport. Again, he makes the catch in traffic. I didn't love Neighbors. I didn't like anything on the mesh point again. Thought everything was extremely well covered. Our only chance, to me, was going to be the jump ball. I mean, I guess we had this over the middle, but the underthrown pass worked to perfection. The pressure, really not ideal. And my right guard runs away. Or no, it's a center. My center runs away from where the help needed to be, which he wouldn't have known that, to be fair. That's not dumb AI blocking logic like what happens in CFP 26 at times, but he's unlucky. Tried to go help on the left guard, or with the left guard. I just don't know where we could have gone here. Like, I guess you're saying maybe read the leverage. That only doesn't work every time it's a pick, but I'll be honest, I didn't even see Davenport. I just pressed the button and hoped. And he made a huge play. What a player. We are inside a minute. Touchdown wins the game. I don't want to score on the first play. I want that clock to tick. But we also need to get in. Is Detroit calling timeouts? They're not. We desperately need a touchdown. 10 seconds to go. We have timeouts. I like the route. Catch made by Gonzalez, timeout. I get that we're cutting this a little bit close, but we're going to have the requisite number of plays, right? So, in my opinion, managed perfectly. Brooks is stopped. The run is not working. It's stupid to run any type of mesh concept here, right? Because it hasn't worked. We've seen it not work. I think I trust it more than anything else. I think I like the Neighbors matchup the most. I'm going to look at Neighbors isolated. Even though all the rest of everything is happening on the right side of the field, really. Brooks is the last ditch. Okay, RB, because I can't find anything. I need Neighbors to get open, even against the leverage of the corner. Throw it to Malik Neighbors! And leak! Touchdown as the clock hits 000. We have won a playoff game. Oh my goodness. When in doubt, get the ball into the hands of your best player. That's what we did. Malik Neighbors. The double toe tap. Didn't even need it. Dragged the shin. Got the knee down. So many points of contact. And enough points to win. 27-25 over the Lions. Tough road game. Tough environment. And ultimately, a tough, hard-fought win. 89 throw power is not a lot. You really need to throw with anticipation in this one. And in the end, we did just enough to win. Did not run the ball well. Our offensive line is bad, it would appear, in run blocking. Jalen Davenport made so many catches. 2 touchdowns for Neighbors. Rondale Moore having a very nice performance here in a loss. 2 sacks for Sawyer. Carter got to the QB, as did Franklin Russell. No picks. But again, a win is a win. Any way you can get them in the playoffs, you want to get them. Arizona Cardinals up next. We have the Kurt Warner Bowl. Cardinals Giants. I actually, for a moment, I couldn't think of that many Cardinals Giants, and then I'm like, okay, there are a lot, because the Giants brought in a defensive coordinator when they were really bad, which is still now, I guess, but James Betcher came over, and he was the Cardinals DC, and he brought over a lot of Cardinals to become Giants. Some guys that you may remember, like Marcus Golden. Others that you probably wouldn't. There are more defensive linemen, like no-name defensive linemen, I can't even come up with some of them. But, I mean, there have been a decent amount of players that have played for both teams over the years. But Kurt Warner is the one that everybody's going to know. We are not actually that much better than them. Hopefully we can win anyways. You've got to be kidding me. This is a joke, dude. All right, well, you're seeing a snow game. I'll tell you, the last time I had a snow game in Madden 26 was at EA in Orlando. And if you think you can pass the ball in this, you are mistaken. I'll show you. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, to be fair, it looks amazing. This might be the single biggest reason I'm excited for 26. The weather is insane. Not only does it look great, and I'm not just hyping this up because this is presented by EA Creator Network. I mean, you guys know I can be critical, hyper-critical, but it does look amazing, and it is insanely hard to play in. Insanely hard. Throwing down the field is basically impossible. Players will slip at a crazy rate. You can hardly even see, and the Cardinals are in all-white uniforms. This can't even be allowed as Carter closes in on the quarterback. I mean, it really does look incredible. But man, I don't know how we're going to possibly score in this. Look at this. I mean, it's insane. While I get a screenshot here, I'll tell you, I am looking at the list now. The guys I was talking about, Kareem Martin, Josh Morrow, like those are the type of guys. Like, obviously, there are more I didn't mention that are super memorable. I did kind of forget that channel legend Dayon Buchanan was a Giant for a minute. But yeah, like Justin Pugh, Antoine Bethea, Isaiah Simmons, obviously. Will Hernandez is an obvious one. Like, there are a lot of obvious ones that I didn't mention. Antrell Roll, one of my favorite players, honestly. Loved Antrell Roll. He was a beast. But, yeah, I mean, this just looks insane. That's the last thing I'll say about it. No, it isn't probably, but I mean, it's crazy. So this is going to be a bit of a buzzkill. I didn't record. I forgot to hit start recording after getting the screenshots. Great. We did win the game. Jackson Dart threw for 2 touchdowns. I mainly simulated it out anyways. You're not going to see Super Sim, unfortunately. I didn't do anything on our drive. It was a 3 and out. There's not anything too noteworthy in the stats. Just a really good pass rush going to town for us. Gotta love it. No interception. So it was a 14-0 win. I forgot to hit start recording. It's late and I apologize. And it was only a divisional game, so whatever. But I can't go back and, you know, re-get the footage for you guys. I wish I could. I'm sorry. We won 14-0 in a snow game. You didn't miss any actual gameplay besides a 3 and out. Sorry. This could, in theory, be a snow game as well. It's a 12-5 Giants against the 13-4 Seattle Seahawks at Lumen Field. I think I am starting to get used to Lumen. And if this is not an episode of Dexter, because I never liked that character. But it's not related, but it is true. CenturyLink was just so iconic, I feel like, and we don't have that anymore. I got to get used to Lumen. But it could be snowing here. I wonder how likely we are to see that. Although it looks like beautiful weather. It really does. I will say the stadium looks awesome. But we can't worry about that right now. We got to beat this team. It must be a warm one. Short sleeves from the fans in Seattle? In January? Goodness gracious, they're tougher than me, I'll tell you that. As we go up 7-0 to start, making sure I'm recording this time around. 14-0. Seahawks on the board here in the third quarter. We are jumping into the fourth quarter very, very quickly, inside 2 minutes. Or just on the outside of 2 minutes, I should say. We've got to convert a 3rd and 2. I need Jonathan Brooks to get there. 7 in the box. Should be able to run on this. There is Jonathan Brooks. That's the first down. That's the 2-minute warning. Jonathan Brooks is pretty banged up at the moment. But he's got to bring us the way home. I think, you know, we could bring in Cam Scattaboo. and that's what we're going to do here. Maybe show off some of that power. Scattaboo. Seattle, no timeouts. This one's over. This game is over. Great effort from the Seahawks. It was not enough. And for the first time since the 2011 NFL season, the New York Giants are going back to the Super Bowl. What a game. What a win. Thanks for playing, Seahawks. You had a great run, but that's it. Another barn burner. 14 points for us in back-to-back wins is crazy. But defense wins championships. That's what we're seeing right now. Incredible defensive performances as we hold their quarterback, Everett Brown, to just 37 yards passing. He went 6 for 7 for 37 yards. Oh my goodness. Was he sacked a lot? No, I mean, we got sacked more than he did. Hey, we'll take it any way we can get it. 14-7. We're going to the big one. The big game. See if we can win it. Well, the Chiefs got hot at the right time. They went 10-7 with their 90 overall team, but have made the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and check out our updated, upgraded team. Got guys playing up here. Magana to a 94, Neighbors to a 96, Brooks into the mid-90s, Jackson Dart most notably to a 94, and then our defense is just spectacular. Stark playing into the 90s, Burns into the 90s. Weber's got star dev now. Our corners are really, really good. Deontay Banks never really developed. D-line looking pretty good. And Abdul Carter is becoming one of the best defensive players in the league. 25 years old, playing up to a 97 overall, and that looks light because he's got 99 power moves, finesse moves, and block shedding. What does Abdul Carter need to be even a true 97 overall, let alone playing up to it? He's got to be a 99 here. I mean, play rec could be a little bit higher, strength could be a little bit higher. Tackling, I guess, could be a 99, but if you're out here with this type of athleticism and then 99 power moves and finesse moves, how are they keeping you out of the 99 club? Even if you're playing up to it with morale. Still counts, in my opinion. Super Bowl time. Giants, Chiefs. I always have such a great Giants Chief. Kawika Mitchell. Now, I'm afraid to share that with you because it might impact my Immaculate Grid scores if I go back to that game. I may do a video playing every Immaculate Grid ever. My videos are long enough. That one would be insanely long. But Kawika Mitchell is a very good Chief and Giant pull. There are more, but that's all I'm going to think about right now. It's 2 in the morning. We have the best quarterback in the NFL versus Patrick Mahomes. Super Bowl in Minnesota. Darts ready to go. Will Mahomes be able to defeat the mighty Jackson Dart? We're about to find out. I'm going to say hopefully not. Super Bowl presentation. Big game. There's a new dynasty in town, Kansas City. And the name is the New York Football Giants. Chiefs on the board first, 7-0. We're driving back, though. Tied at 7. Let's go, Big Blue. Jackson Dart to Magana for 11. Sacked by Quincy Pace. But we get it back through the air. Back to Magana. Back to Magana. The Dart to Magana connection's incredible. But Dart's going to hit Jonathan Brooks for an 11-yard receiving touchdown as we take the lead 14-7, and we'll hold that lead into the third quarter. Third quarter now approaching the fourth quarter very quickly. Time is running out for Kansas City. 3rd and 6, we're going to jump in. I'd love to get Mahomes on the ground here. That's a game-changing play. Sack here, I think almost ends the game. Get Mahomes on the ground. That's a dart. I'm not really sure how you stop that. playing these top quarterbacks in Madden 26 is going to be impossible. I think conservatively, I would say impossible. But down goes Mahomes. It's the 3rd sack of the game for Brian Burns. And Kansas City is burning right now. The Dynasty going up in flames. Courtesy of our star pass rusher. 2-minute warning quickly approaching. Quick throw. It's Longhorn legend Xavier Worthy. And he's going to make it 3rd and 11 as Kansas City calls a timeout prior to the 2-minute warning. That's a really, really, really bad timeout, in my opinion. But if you're going to say, hey, it's 3rd and 11, we got to have it. We got to get some yards back here. But it's 4-down territory. Bullet from Mahomes picked off by the rookie Weber. And Chris Weber could win us a Super Bowl. That might do it. Genuinely, that might be enough. Kansas City can only stop the clock twice. 1st down gives us a Super Bowl win. That's pretty much it. It may be tough to get there. Brooks, 9 rushes for 26 yards. I think we've got to keep it on the ground, though. I don't love it, but we've got to burn those timeouts. Kansas City has called their final timeout. But we got to get the 1st down here, too. That's tough. 1:52 to play. It's just too much time for Mahomes. You got to get the 1st here. 1st down wins you a Super Bowl. You know who we're targeting. Neighbors against a slot corner, and it's not Trent McDuffie. Oh, he covered him really well, though. That stops the clock, and we're going to give Patrick Mahomes the football back. Chance to tie or win the game in regulation. We needed a 1st there. Had to get it. I can't believe Neighbors got completely blanketed. That's the crazy thing to me. I can't believe we're giving Mahomes the ball back. And pretty much an equal chance to win like he had before the interception. That's the crazy thing. They're really almost in no worse of a position. A little bit more time off the clock and no timeouts. Like, it is worse overall, sure. But it's pretty much the same. And, I mean, you got to find the ball, Watford. He's throwing it right at you. You got to find the ball. You need to find the ball. 1:15 to play. I would say the clock really isn't even a factor at this point. You know Tampa. You know Kansas City's going to go hurry up throughout. They have time. I don't think we can stop them. We're just going to have to hope we hold them out of the end zone. Bend but don't break. Mahomes looking to take off, and he's sacked. Russell got there. That's going to take about 15 seconds off the clock unless Kansas City goes for a quick spike to play for 3rd and 15. I don't know if I would have done that. I probably would have preferred the extra down and 5 or 6 fewer seconds on the clock. I think that would be a very easy decision. 3rd and 15. Quick throw to the flat. Chad's going to keep him in bounds. Let's go, Chad. 4th and 12. Super Bowl on the line. Play the sticks. I also don't want them getting over the top, but meet them at the line. 1st down, Kansas City. They went short of the line to gain, and they got it. Kind of gave that up, but we had to. We had to. Make them throw short of the 1st down. That was the goal. They did it. It worked. 17 seconds. A sack doesn't quite end the game, but it gets pretty close. We need our pass rush to go to town. Mahomes looking to take off. Quick dump down. Tackle made. That clock's going to tick. Can Mahomes get one more play off? They're not going to spike it. This is the final play of the game for the Super Bowl. Mahomes to scramble. Let him run. That's the game. The New York Giants are Super Bowl champions for a 5th time. It's another 14-point win. Our defense won us a championship here. And that is our superstar X Factor rookie safety, Chad Harrison, pointing to his Super Bowl ring. Big reason why we won it. What a rookie for us. And that is a beautiful sight to see. Will Jackson Dart ever hoist a Lombardi trophy in real life? There are a lot of backup quarterbacks who do. So, no, it could happen. Stranger things have happened. I'd love it. I'd love to see it. But here's what I would like to see is the Giants just not having the worst record in football since 2017. The bar is so low. I just like to see a couple more wins a year. If the Giants can just get to 7 or 8, wow. That would be about double their average. I mean, it's disgusting how bad the Giants have been. But anyway, we're going to end on a happy note. The Giants are Super Bowl champions. First rebuild of Madden 26 ends up being a success with my favorite team. And Dart, as expected, has outdueled Mahomes. I'm sure we're going to see that plenty of times over the next few years in the NFL. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe. Take it easy.